WTF Forum is a decentralized broadcast network with no governing body of any kind and is produced and distributed by a loosely affiliated, ever-growing network of rogue, independent content creators. This forum does not, will not, and shall not have any one location, RSS feed, platform, or channel, but shall be shared and multiplied as nature dictates.
Welcome to the WTF Forum. The hosts do not give financial, legal, medical, or any kind of advice. Opinions are their own. This broadcast contains foul language and dangerous ideas. If you need a trigger warning, you are in the wrong place. Now enjoy the show.
Hospitals' generators don't work. We have to get 35 gallons of the diesel fuel across the water. The tractor's on the other side. Hang on, I'll let them know. I'm jumping into one of the FEMA staff members' Zoom meetings. Give me a second.
In my mind, thinking about preparedness and how you said, LGBTQIA people and people who have been disadvantaged already are struggling. They already have their own things to deal with. So you add a disaster on top of that. It's just compounding on itself.
There are a couple of things that are intersecting in my mind here. One of them is the culture of emergency management as an organization, as an industry in the United States. The shift that we're seeing right now is a shift in emergency management from utilitarian principles where everything is designed for the greatest good for the greatest amount of people to disaster equity.
Hey, if FEMA asks, it's a gay hospital, okay? What the fuck?
800 plus miles, and the eye of the storm would hit Asheville the night that we got into town. So we knew that there was going to be some sort of rain and a little bit of wind, but it was just supposed to hit Florida and then dissipate. And then this is what ended up happening.
So we're currently about 30 minutes away from Asheville in a hurricane storm, and it did this to our windshield wipers, so we couldn't see. It was terrifying, and we just bought a new one, so there she goes. Wish us luck.
Hurricane weather. Oh man. We're about 33 minutes from Asheville. How you doing?
Good.
We safely made it to Asheville. Thank the good Lord Jesus. It is 3:21 a.m.
We went to bed on Thursday, September 26th at 4.
All right, park right in between these guys then. This place is completely closed.
This place is completely
You see a Burger
closed.
King.
Everybody's just piling up on top of each other. We're all watching the waters rise, and it's terrifying.
So,
And we got a lot of shit in this car.
no, I know.
You can't go anywhere. You can't get back to Asheville. You can't get south here. You can't go that way. You can't go that way. You're basically trapped. So he's like, just get to high ground.
We're currently at the highest point that we can get to right now.
Well,
And we're making a new friend.
Yeah, exactly. And now, I mean, that's way more underwater than it was 20-30 minutes.
It's amazing when there's an emergency. It doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat or if you're an independent. People all around us right now, they're all going to other cars being like, are you okay? Do you need anything? Hey, I've got carrots. I've got water. I have beer in the car if you need a beer. We just have talked to a bunch of the cars all around us. There's a mother with a child, single mother with a child. I said, hey, are you okay? She asked me if we're okay. I said, are you from around here? And it doesn't matter. We're all looking out for each other. We're seeing if people need something.
So I think I'm going to try getting home because my map seems like it's updating
And now it's saying,
And there is like a back path that it looks like it's open.
This is a unprecedented flood, 100-year flood. We're probably gonna have to spend the night here. Look at this. We just came from there, and there's no way, had we waited a few more minutes, we would not have been able to come back up the hill to safety for now. We're gonna need to assess the situation to see if we need to continue. Old Europe is gifting everybody water for free, food for free. It's incredible. They have fed hundreds, if not 1,000 plus people today. It just it hits me. There's no National Guard. There's no water.
because there's no cell service, there's no TV, there's no radio. So the only thing you do is get on Wi-Fi, and there's only a couple places in Nashville that have it, so you have to walk to it. We are currently walking to the Moxie here down in Nashville to get Wi-Fi.
But no water. So the going to the bathroom situation is getting very
Dicey.
So we've actually have a plan now to go to the bathroom outside. So that's where we're at. We're currently at a Moxie hotel. It's the first time we've gotten internet to text our family to let everybody know we're safe, and people are freaking out. This is the first time we've had Wi-Fi in days.
Can you hear me? Yeah, do me a favor.
It is currently Saturday, September, I think it's the 29th. We keep staying here because there's no way to get out safely. Just got out of the grocery store and we were able to get some food for later.
At least we've done this thing.
Yeah.
Got what water we could, whatever was left. It's fine. So we're gonna post up for another 24. See what happens.
You could ring up to go up 85.
Yeah, I've got the other map pulled
And
up.
from here to like at least you can go south on 26 like 20 miles.
Yeah.
Like to the airport.
Yes,
My
yeah,
friend was
I
just
heard
up
that.
Down that in like near the Biltmore
Biltmore, yeah.
Yeah. It's completely screwed. We lost water this morning because of contamination. So
Oh my God.
yeah, the power guys were saying it'd be at least a few days.
You got a game plan?
Yeah.
Confident?
Yeah. We're all gonna take a stop at this place, and then that'll be probably
Trying to fill up gas? Great.
It's probably what I would imagine to be your best bet.
Great. It is officially 6:31 a.m. and the caravan is rocking. The caravan is officially moving. We're rolling out of Asheville. Attempt number 2. Let's pray to God this attempt works. Definitely hopeful. We're getting on 240 West. We're asking for God to protect us and keep us all safe. Because there's really no help, and this is the most vulnerable all of us will be now. This is the first time we've been on a highway in 40 hours. Unfortunately, man, people are waiting in line now for money to get money out of the ATM, and the gas stations are shut off. People are already waiting in line, and it's 6.
I said it's a difficult thing to keep, obviously to keep everyone together because there's no way to communicate other than we have our flashes on so we know who's who. But
there's 2 cars in our caravan without gas.
We tried to make a stop for gas, but even on the south side of Asheville before we get out of town, because after that there's no
You can also see that there are just abandoned cars, like this one. We're going back on 26?
Yeah.
East or what?
26 east.
So where are they going? They're going 26, but I don't know. Go. So is this the right way?
Yeah.
All right, well.
I wonder if I should stay with them. So are they even going to be able to get a hold of each other?
I don't know. Shoot. So what happened back there is we all got off to try and find gas for the 2 cars that were running on fumes. And it just was a bad situation. The gas stations were closed. People were lining up early, waiting for the gas station to open. And who knows, they could be there for hours. And so we all tried to get back on this Interstate 26, but
They all got jarbled. Some people went the wrong way. Some people couldn't turn. It was brutal. I've never seen anything like this in my entire life. Here's the same shot as on Friday.
Yep.
And the water is still there. It is down, thank God. Isn't this where the water was spilling over from that side just a couple days ago? Oh, so they were able to get that lane open. So all that water, or is that further up, babe?
This all
was.
That was the low point back there.
Yeah.
Dinner when I got a call from a friend up in North Carolina. His name's Rudy. And he said, hey man, we need some helicopters up here. The hurricane damage is really bad. And there's a lot of people trapped in the mountains. So my wife and I got someone to watch the kids. We loaded up with one bag and flew to North Carolina with no plan and posted that we were on our way. And by the time I got there, I probably had 500 emails and a ton of text messages. And my post had been shared thousands of times. And we were blown away. We're like, what is going on? How bad is this deal? So we get into North Carolina. We end up staying at Greg Biffle's house because there's no power in the Asheville area. So we couldn't really stay close to where all the damage was. We load Consuelo up with water and fuel. Next morning, take off and fly into just some things that I've never seen before, and some really, really bad situations for people. Like, I can't really describe it well, but I have some videos on my helmet cam that I'm going to put in this video. And I'm not putting them in there to try and grow my YouTube channel. I'm simply putting them in there to give you a perspective of how bad the damage in the Asheville area is. And it's not just Asheville. It is spread so far into the mountains of North Carolina. And these areas we're flying in are some of the worst areas to fly a helicopter. And I'm talking about the tightest LZs, sloped landings inside of tight landing zones. It was absolutely wild. Consuelo, my helicopter, just performed absolutely flawless. I didn't think this was the right helicopter for the job, but I had the ability to take insulin, food, water into the tightest spots in the area and drop them off and get them to people in need and then haul people out. Yeah, she got a little beat up. She got puked in. We hauled dogs, a lot of people, and it is what it is. It's just a machine. But I'm so proud of this machine and what it's become. You know, this was abandoned in Venezuela, and now she's out here helping people out. Lastly, before we get to the footage, I'll say I do feel a little weird putting stuff like this on social media. However, the awareness I feel we brought to the area made it worth it. There's over $350,000 on the Hope Mill Fund Relief Group GoFundMe. And also they started up a pilot jet fuel GoFundMe. And I'll put those links down in the description because there's a lot of helicopters flying. By the end of day 2, there was 37 helicopters, private helicopters on site at Hickory Airport helping out. Basically, day 1, this wonderful woman named Erin from the Hope Mill Fund GoFundMe, we just met her at the airport and she's like, can you take these supplies to this spot? And we just went. And then we come back and they would just load up the helicopter while I'm looking it over, jam it with fuel, and we would go. I don't know who this woman is, Erin, but the fact that she was able to get us the correct information to the worst spots I've ever seen and give us the right supplies and have them ready on time when we got there, it was incredible. And then day 2, Operation Airdrop, these guys organized a lot of pilots and they had a good plan and they deployed us correctly. And we flew that for as long as we could yesterday and then got back to our family. But it was insane up there. And there's a long road ahead of all of the Asheville area to even get out of there. It's unbelievable. So I don't know what the current status is. I've heard a lot of the critically injured or in need people have been helped, but there's still more. And the government assets are showing up like crazy. There's Chinooks and Blackhawks everywhere. There's a C-17 Globemaster at the airport, and they're working like crazy. Some of my friends brought in some sick helicopters. A lot of these guys just did an amazing job. And this flying is no joke. I'm talking no joke. So a huge thank you to all the pilots who were a part of it. And a thank you to Thoroughbred Aviation for giving me a safe helicopter. It's just been the craziest couple days of my life, and I wanted to share some of these clips. So let's get to that, and then we'll get to the original idea of this video, which is picking up my brand new refurbished helicopter. Let's get to it.
Hell yeah, dude.
You want to jump in?
It's right there.
Okay.
I'll just walk in. You're first left.
Awesome.
We are in Edneyville, and as you go down to lower elevation, you got Chimney Rock, Lake Lure, basically Bat Cave, all these places that have been absolutely decimated. Don't go into those places. Like, first responders are going there, let them do their jobs. If you want to help, go to the outskirts with supplies, go to a firehouse or a church and figure out where to drop the stuff off. Like, don't do disaster tourism. This has ended up being sort of a hub for a lot of those places because they're all destroyed. This is the first place that you can get to. It's right next to Hendersonville. So we're kind of right on the edge of all the worst affected places right now. And a lot of people that they're evacuating out of those areas are ending up here.
Right.
The news keeps talking about Asheville, and Asheville got hit really, really hard. But these are lesser known communities, and because they have no cell phone reception, if they find an open gas station, they can't even buy gas for their generator because they don't have credit card access.
And even if when you go about an hour away from here, you can the supplies are getting really, really scarce, but they don't even have the access to get an hour away from here.
No. And if they can, they'll run out of fuel. And then they can't get more because they don't have cash. And they can't get cash because they can't go to an ATM. Their clothes are gone. Their house is destroyed. There's trailer parks buried back there that have literally been washed away. I mean, it's real life. It's bad.
Everything's changing day by day, hour by hour, right? So there might be a need now. What's the big need that you're hearing about people needing right now?
The biggest thing that people tell me is internet. Like if you have a mobile Starlink, or you can disconnect your Starlink and just set it up someplace and put a sign at the side of the road, that's what people need. And so communication is the big one. And just stay out of first responders' ways. Gasoline, top foods, like don't bring cans that you need a can opener for because the can opener's gone. Personal hygiene items, all that stuff's going to be useful. And honestly, just things that are going to boost morale, like a brand new unopened stuffed animal or something is going to bring a smile to a kid's face, like during something a kid shouldn't have to deal with.
So if people want to help, come to this place. Or come to a place like this, but I know that there's access to this place. So you can come here, you can drop your stuff off right here, and they're here,
They're
8
from 8 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock at night. So come here, drop stuff off. If you don't know where to drop stuff off, just go to Firehouse. Ask them, because they're the ones doing the rescue. Stay the heck out of their way and ask them where you should be dropping off supplies, because that's the best way to help. You can even bring cash. There are places that are doing business, selling whatever they have, and people can't get anything because they can't get to an ATM. If you bring cash, that's huge. They will distribute it to people for sure. But this is, dude, amazing. Like I met some of the people yesterday, and to actually meet people whose homes have been washed away or they saw their neighbor get washed away, it puts your own little problems into perspective.
Right.
It really does. So this is huge. The fact that you guys came here with gas cans full of gasoline, and yeah, it's just
so how does the stuff from here get out?
Well, a lot of people come here to pick it up. People who actually need it, like the end user will come here to pick it up. And then there are other people that they're working with that know where to bring it. You know, there are shelters. They're bringing it to shelters. People are literally coming here. I need baby formula. Where can I get it? And they hand it to them. And you can tell by the looks in their faces that they actually need it.
I think we've quadrupled their baby formula supply.
Yeah, I think you did. That was a lot of baby formula. And the reason that there wasn't a lot of baby formula is people are coming here for it.
Right.
Like, we're both parents. We know, like, could you imagine when you have a newborn and your whole life has been turned upside down, running out of baby formula and having no cash and no place to even get it from? And then when you do get there, they're all out of it. Even the grocery store by me is not open. Gas stations still have huge lines, and then they run out. And then when they get refilled, they run out again. Everything we brought here yesterday seems to be gone already. And so I know this hub is working.
That's awesome.
They're here late and they're here early.
Listen, I know you're busy. You got stuff to do. You got people to go check on.
Dude, we both do. Thank you for coming out. Like, seriously.
Yeah, thanks for giving us. We needed a place to go. Like, thanks for telling us where to go.
Totally.
Well, Rob, I'm glad to see you, brother. Welcome to the WTF Forum. I have been playing clips to kill the time, but we are currently witnessing Armageddon in real time, are we not?
Well, close enough anyway.
They don't realize that there's this, like, lattice of coincidence that lays on top of everything.
So,
Yeah. So, when this hurricane first hit, it was hard to say how bad it was, but I've been trying to kind of put the pieces together, and it's not good, man. It's not good.
Yeah, unfortunately, our government doesn't look like they're on our side right now.
No.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to discredit the idea that not necessarily that this was this government created this storm, but there's a lot of weather normies now. I find that really interesting. Like there's a lot of podcasters out there now who are all, oh, well, the government would never do that. The government wouldn't do this. The government wouldn't do. I'm like, where is this even coming from? I mean, really, where is this even coming from that you would even say this shit? It doesn't make sense. They're drinking the juice.
Well, there's
that water sound is their house going underwater while they're pretending that suddenly the government is not the bad guy.
Well,
they would never cause a storm like that. Never.
I started with a couple who was trying to make their escape from Asheville. They found themselves in the middle of it. They were just traveling through, and they started seeing the floodwaters rising. And I shared it because it was, maybe I'll even bring it back, but it was apparent how terrifying this entire situation was. Your average folk with no, extra water, extra gasoline, any of it. They got nothing. And they're trying to figure out how to get the fuck out of this disaster, but they don't have the means, man. And I'm watching it going, oh my God, like everybody should have 5 extra gallons of water and 20 extra gallons of gas. And, it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated, but it gets real complicated real quick.
That's right.
Yeah.
I have probably 1,000 gallons that I've got stored in bags. So you can buy those gigantic inflatable bladders. And what's great about those is you could put it in your trunk and fill it up. Yeah, I mean, you may feel kind of silly driving around with all this fucking water in the back. But the bottom line is, if something goes wrong, it's there. I mean, these people knew the hurricane was coming a few days beforehand. They could have filled up a bladder, a 100-gallon bladder.
Yeah, but
500 pounds.
But apparently, North Carolina, they were not expecting it. Yes, they knew the hurricane was on its way, but this was not the direction they expected it to go.
True. It does look like it. Well, hence why people were saying it's guided. And now we have all these conspiracy people who are suddenly weather believers. And it's like, wait, how did you just... So what I find is interesting is that it almost looks to me like some of the conspiracy people or the truther community has decided that since it was rednecks that they don't really like in North Carolina, that kind of West Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee people, that all of a sudden their little conspiratorial brain, their little logic center that makes them see things that are and are not scams, suddenly shut off because it's okay to do that to white people. And I think there's definitely a race element involved in this.
Well, there could be. And I've heard all kinds of things about FEMA and how FEMA's essentially nowhere to be found. It's hard to know.
They're hostile. They're openly hostile to the people there. I mean,
that's
beyond the looking glass. This is all the shit. I find it interesting that the one person who used to talk about FEMA like this the most probably was William Cooper and or Alex Jones, who later took on.
I thought you were going to say Alex Jones. Yeah.
Well, William Cooper started it before Alex Jones. I mean, Alex Jones got most of his shtick concerning FEMA from William Cooper. He even admits that. William Cooper was talking about this stuff, I think it was 92. He had just come out with On a Pale Horse and then I think he had started his radio show, or it started to get distributed a little bit more. And the bottom line was that he was digging up FEMA paperwork under Freedom of Information Act, some of it not even under Freedom of, some of it was just open knowledge that basically said that, that FEMA can basically decide when there's an emergency, they can decide anything. It doesn't even have to make sense. They could decide to give, if the whole state of California has an earthquake, they can decide to give it to California because they're the ones in charge, and the federal government and our elected officials aren't. And I think that's a big part of what we're seeing here, is that a lot of the elected officials are helpless against FEMA's agenda at this point. I don't know if you've noticed that. They haven't had any say in what FEMA does. FEMA's just kind of doing whatever the globalists do,
Well, I'll dig it up. I've got a good clip in terms of FEMA, but from what I can tell, I've tried to kind of I don't know, pick up what I can from YouTube and Twitter, and it seems to me like YouTubers are being more valuable than FEMA right now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So like this guy with the helicopter and the next guy who I'm going to show, like they're just going out there and doing what they can do, and it's like organic disaster relief versus the FEMA kind of method. And anyways, like I said, I've got another clip after this one. I got to go dig it up, but check this out in the meantime. Here we go. Where the fuck is it? Son of a bitch. Too many clips. Here we go.
In the parking lot, so I was going to go see what they're doing, and then there's a bunch of other churches here. So if you want to head down this way,
we'll be there in 25 minutes.
Cool. I'll see you then.
All right, cool. Sounds good. All right.
Okay, bye.
We'll cut firewood with the chainsaws for the tent setters.
We don't need firewood. Maybe how we help is not how we think we help.
Look at that guy's beard.
He's so epic. And no.
It's nice to meet you.
They were
Thank you for what y'all are doing.
Swannanoa and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got right now, we just sent out about 6 teams that are out in Swannanoa, and they're going house to house, and they're actually at a couple of houses where they have to they're mucking them out. Is what they're doing. And we have other teams that are coming from Lake Norman. They're doing a lot of the tree work, cutting trees off houses. You got to do that, and then you got to tarp it.
Right.
We have there's layers of it. So the first phase is getting trees and driveways, or trees off the driveways and off the houses, and then putting tarps on the houses because you don't want any further damage to take place. The houses where the water has come through, you've got to get in there and muck it out, which means you got to take all the wet insulation out. You got to cut off the sheetrock where it's wet, because if any of that starts to mold, the result is that they condemn the building and they lose their house, and they still have to pay for it. They still have to, and there's no insurance in the mountains flooding. So we're trying to get there as fast as we can to clear these things out for them so that they can save their home, and then they can rebuild. And then we have teams, like I was about to tell you, Seth.
Yes.
Seth, is that we have teams that have said, listen, up in Finger Lakes, New York, another group in California, they've called me and said, these are all the Calvaries, and they said, we want to send teams, but we know that in a few weeks, all those teams that are rushing in right now are going to die down. They're going to be redirected. Other things are going to happen. And so when that happens, then we'll come in and we'll bring contractors. We'll bring in guys that are carpenters and sheetrockers and electricians, and we'll start helping rebuild. And so we'll come in a month or two When all that's cleared out, the houses are dry, and you don't have as many of these guys that are using these big earth movers to get everything out of the way, and we're going to come in and start rebuilding. So we got teams. We're in for the long term. We're in for the long haul. We realize this is not going to be at 1 month or 2 months. You're looking about a 2-year period right now just to fix what has been broken that can be fixed. A lot of it can't be fixed. So what we're doing is trying to help people first, save lives, then save homes, because if we can save the lives, but we don't save the homes, those people are going to be homeless. We got to get their homes safe. So that's what we're trying to do right now. And then the third phase is when you start getting in and start rebuilding.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is the save lives phase over?
No, there's still places right now where they're trying to find out, because there's people that are still cut off. You've got about 8 different areas where the areas hit hard. It's not all concentrated in one section. It's in different sections out there. You got Spruce Pine, you got Burnsville, you've got Marshall, you have Hot Springs, you have Hendersonville, you have Swannanoa, you have Black Mountain, you have Montreat, Lake Lure, you have Chimney Rock. And so all those places need to be hit.
I mean, assuming this is what somebody wanted to do, not somebody who wants their privacy, but assuming this is what somebody wanted to do, one thing we can really help with is getting that message out to millions of people.
Get it out.
You know, if there's a story that needs to be told, and like I said, this is out of the news cycle.
Yeah. And like I was sharing with you, there's 2,500 Calvary chapels, all over the United States, and all of them are sending teams. See these guys? They're driving up. They're from another Calvary, and they just brought all their stuff. They're all the tools, and they're coming. We've set up these 2 tents for them so they can sleep there. They can sleep inside our classrooms. And I was sharing with him, there's an Old Testament verse that says, where there are no oxen, the stalls are clean. And the point being is that, well, an oxen is necessary to pull the plow.
Right.
But if you don't have the oxen, well, the stalls are clean. And hey, I got clean stalls.
Don't focus on clean stalls. Right.
What I need is an oxen, right? So the oxen are coming, and we're saying, okay, let's use our classrooms. They need a place to sleep. We've built 3 makeshift showers over here in the back, so they have a place at the end of the day to clean up. There's cold water right now. We're trying to get some of those propane heaters to heat the water up, so at least it'll mix it and it'll be warmer. Because right now, cold showers are great.
We met a guy. We met a guy. He's half an hour away from here. He came here from where?
Virginia.
From Virginia. He has a tankless hot water shower. That's mobile. That he could bring here.
Bring it on. We'll use it.
I'll call him
Yeah.
Sheriff's Office over the last several days, going back and forth from here to Western North Carolina, helping to bring things like food and water and coordinating with local leaders with rescue missions. He's posted on social media about meeting with people impacted and said Governor Roy Cooper has not done enough to respond to the devastation. The records show last week as the storm was approaching, the governor reached out to Robinson and the other 8 members of the Council of State, which is a group of statewide elected officials, to ask for their vote in support of declaring a state of emergency. Robinson was the only member not to vote. This happened as several members of his staff were resigning from their jobs last week. Here's what he said when asked why he missed the vote.
I don't even need to cover why, because here's the bottom line. My vote in that vote was going to pass with or without my vote. So it was absolutely inconsequential that me voting. It didn't matter.
Seems to me the lieutenant governor had one job prior to this disaster, and it was to go and vote so that we could get disaster relief. And the one thing he could have done, he didn't do.
A spokesman for Governor Cooper accused Robinson of engaging in a, quote, online disinformation campaign about the storm response that he says causes confusion in areas with limited communications and potentially puts lives at risk. Robinson also criticized Cooper for being in New York last week on Wednesday as the storm was approaching. Cooper's office says he was back in North Carolina Wednesday afternoon and coordinating the state's response ahead of time.
So, it's his fault. Well, if you got 9 people and 8 vote, then it's okay. But there's so much
Well, let's don't overlook Robinson's being smeared last week or the week before.
That's the whole point.
By being on the Black Pervs for Teens website 10 years ago.
Nazi.
And a black Nazi thing and that whole thing. I mean, this guy, it was so bad that even Trump couldn't bring himself to invite him to one of the North Carolina rallies. So the guys, they've gone after this
He's
guy.
a hot potato. He's a hot potato. So
he can still win.
Oh yeah. But people don't really understand how everything works with emergency management, and I'm pretty sure that South Carolina And North Carolina, there were emergency workers. Of course, what everyone saw a lot of, particularly on social media, was the redneck army.
It's the sound of solace. Help is on the way.
We just kind of organized a private helicopter army to go in and survey the damage and extract people and take supplies in and just create landing zones for everybody to have supply routes in and out.
Matt McSwain is a pilot from Mount Holly and says he received a call from Operation Airdrop, an organization now working to shore up relief and rescue efforts for folks trapped in North Carolina's high country.
We've had 37 helicopters today. Volunteers. We've had people from Texas to Maine, all the way across the East Coast, just show up and how do we help?
For folks who remember Katrina, there's the Cajun Navy.
Right.
I feel very much like this is Cajun Navy.
Yep, this is Redneck Navy. Redneck Marine Corps. I'm a Marine, so Redneck Marines.
McSwain took us back to the war room where we were allowed to take photos, but not share any audio from inside. There's a station where they gather calls for help, often from social media posts, then triage the severity of the need and what supplies should go on the flight, and then attempt to find that person in distress. One of the biggest hurdles, McSwain says, is not having spots to land.
When we go to those GPS coordinates, we may not be able to land there. It might be a mile, 2 miles on one side or the other just because we can't get to that distress call.
Tuesday, he says they plan to help with another major concern, shuttling in communication devices for first responders.
There's actual whole communities that are completely cut off from the grid. We tried to establish communications with the local sheriff's department, the fire department. There is no communications.
So, what I'm seeing, I don't know about you, but I just see all of this. The government, blah, it's no good. They're late. Everything's horrible. They're doing this on purpose. If it was a blue state, they'd be there in minutes. On and on and on and on. And we, of course, we're still dealing with the it's for the quartz, it's for the lithium.
And we can drop that part of it, but the blue state thing, it is a blue state. It's got a Democrat governor. A lot of these people are black.
Yeah,
Asheville's North Carolina, one of the centers, is a lesbian stronghold of the South.
Rob, any comments to this point? I know I'm kind of laying the clips on thick. How do you feel about the response for the hurricane?
I think the number one thing is that there's land, a lot of land there, and the federal government wants access to it for whatever reason. They've got multiple reasons to want it, whether it be the lithium mines, whether it be just to basically unseat people's independence, because a lot of people there, I forget there was some demographic, some statistic I saw that in those areas that got hit, the average person owns over 10 acres or something like that. And that's enough to live on.
So if anything, these are the people you would expect to be the most resilient. Yes. So,
but I mean, if you flood everything,
part of me
what are you
does
going to prepare
wonder
for?
if this is some kind of. So watching, before you hopped on, I was sharing this clip. It was a couple that just happened to be traveling through Asheville, and they kind of got trapped, and you could tell they were not fully prepared, but they managed. But it was a dire situation where are we going to charge our phones? Where are we going to get gas? Where are we going to get water? They were not in the slightest bit prepared for this. They were traveling, they were prepared to travel, but they were not prepared for, no gas, no water.
Right. Why isn't everyone carrying a walkie-talkie already? We've already known for a very long time that the government is not on your side.
People
I
are
have three walkie-talkies in my car.
People
One
are
for me,
just
two for other
waking
people.
up to it. Yeah. It's dire. It's dire. But yeah, they're starting to realize.
Yeah. It's just very strange to me. Also, too, I have those batteries, those solar batteries, so you can charge your phone. I carry one with me in my backpack. I mean, I think a lot of it just people don't want to go there. They don't want to give themselves the bad news that things can go terribly wrong. You know?
Well, and this whole thing with FEMA, right? I think some of it is exaggerated, right? Like people are saying like FEMA is intentionally sabotaging some of these volunteer distribution centers and things like that. I don't know if that's the case. I think FEMA is just a little bit slow, as all government tends to be. And
well, we should have known that from Katrina. I mean, they should have been dumped on their ass and thrown out in the street and should have been clean swept after Katrina. But here we got the same assholes recycling through these 3-letter agencies and FEMA, through Homeland Security and FEMA. They bounce back and forth. They have this rotating cycle where every time they jump from one 3-letter or 4-letter agency to the next, they just keep leapfrogging and getting paid more and more and more, and they're not prepared. They're not. I don't think these people. They're unfortunately bureaucrats. They're not there to do a job.
You would think if you had a whole fleet of Blackhawks and Chinooks,
you can make shit happen.
You could make shit happen pretty quick.
Yeah.
But apparently no. A bunch of YouTubers. So like these clips that I shared, one of the guys' names is Cletus McFarlane, which is
I know him.
Yeah, Cletus. Yeah, he plays on the fact that he's a redneck. He's into fast cars and cold beers. He's that kind of guy. But he's got, because of his YouTube acclaim, he's got this helicopter. And he was able to provide direct relief, within 24 hours where FEMA couldn't. And the other guy is Bikes and Beards. It's a motorcycle channel. And
I recognized him earlier.
Yeah, Bikes and Beards. He's a cool YouTube guy.
I think he's in Tennessee, so he's pretty close also.
Yeah, they're both pretty close. Cletus was in Florida and Bikes and Beards was in Tennessee. And point being, it's like with the full backing of the U.S. military, you would think that you could show up quicker than some YouTube guy, but apparently not.
Too much bureaucracy. So
too much red tape.
What the problem is that a lot of these organizations, here's the problem with most of these organizations actually, they don't have a job until something goes terribly wrong.
Right.
And the problem is when it goes terribly wrong, subsequently then they're rewarded for doing things wrong because the federal government and all the king's horses and all the king's men down in DC go, oh my God, you guys really sucked. We need to make sure this doesn't happen again. And rather than rolling heads, they roll in barrels of money. And what does that do? That just keeps the same bad people that still did the same bad job in the same bad place where they can make a lot of bad trouble. And it just goes on and on.
I think that that Adam Curry kind of says it best here. That's why I started this clip, but it takes some time. He's going to get to the point here, though. He talks about why why FEMA would have a problem with independent relief efforts, just on principle.
I think it's strictly.
It's always referred to locally as Sheville. You take the A out of the name. It's not Asheville, it's Sheville. And so this is bull crap.
Well, besides that, I like, is it Hanlon's Razor, I think it is? Hanlon's Razor. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence.
Yeah, that's... Also, it doesn't help that this situation coming out of the White House from FEMA and from Mayorkas, who said we're out of money, and then the denial that we're out of money, which I have two clips from John Pierre. This has been floating around. this is what she said in a press conference. This is KJP this week.
Just categorically false. No, Biden did not take FEMA relief money to use on migrants.
And then here she is in 2022.
So FEMA regional administrators have been meeting with city officials on site to coordinate available federal support from FEMA and other federal agencies. Funding is also available through FEMA's emergency food and shelter program to eligible local governments and non-for-profit organizations upon request to support humanitarian relief for migrants.
Well, exactly. And this is kind of my point. Our government is, and that's all governments, our government body, which people somehow in my lifetime have come to like, oh, something's wrong, the cavalry's coming. Yeah, the redneck Marine Corps is coming. Your neighbors are coming. People who, regardless of who you are, your background, or your gender, sexuality, your religion, race, doesn't matter. Your neighbors will come. But stop waiting for the government, because our government,
that's what, yes.
Our government is an administrative state filled with pencil pushes and PowerPoints. Seriously. And
well, in the 89, it was pointed out, like around here in the Bay Area, when we had the 89 Loma Prieta earthquake and the freeway collapsed. Mm-hmm. It was just all locals going out and rescuing people. There was no time to wait. The government, screw the government. You got to go out and do what you do. And there's all kinds of local heroes that pulled people out of cars under a crushed overpass and all the rest. And it was all just people doing what you could do to help your neighbor.
But really, we need to just come to grips with the fact that all government, especially state and federal emergency, are completely incompetent. They have forgotten and forsaken their mission. Media, of course, can't even cover this because, don't let anybody catch on. Specifically, North Carolina. I remember when it came to gender neutral bathrooms, we had a lot to say. A lot going on. That was during Obama.
And it was mostly in North Carolina.
Yes, but when the rubber really meets the road, they have no clue on how to operate. And, people are even saying, do you really want FEMA? Because here's how corrupt and nasty the system is. People are like, they're stopping.
All right. So this is where I wanted to get to. This is the point. Sorry, I didn't know the exact timestamp, but I thought I'd pause it right before the main point, because we do, in fact, have a new contributor, a new guest, a new host, if you will. Ando, what do you say, bub? Good to see you.
Hey, how are you? I'm just popping in to say, hey, I'm not going to be with you the whole show.
No problem, man. Are you married?
About to be,
is that
a
next
week
weekend?
from today?
All right.
Yeah, the 20th.
All right.
Yeah,
buddy.
Today.
Yeah.
This is the bachelor party. I am at the Texas Renaissance Festival right now, having a bachelor party.
You're at the Texas, what was it? The Texas what festival?
Texas Renaissance Festival. Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
The Run Fest. Yeah.
And it's Oktoberfest weekend. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yep. Jamming out with this. Yeah. You guys hear Frank back there? You were asking about Frank a couple weeks ago. You're like, hey, you remember that fucking guy that sounded like this? Yeah, that's that fucking guy right there.
Yeah.
Straight out of Jersey or something.
Well, he and I ride the same motorcycle,
Oh, he's a Harley guy.
No, well, he's got a KLR. Ask him about his KLR.
Oh, okay. Hey, Frank, you got a KLR as well, right? Oh. But yeah, so it's probably pretty loud. We have we have fireworks going off. Everything's pretty fun right now. So what are you guys talking about?
Well, we're talking about the hurricane, but I just want to say happy bachelor weekend, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's fun.
Hell yeah.
It's one of those where it's just keeps going.
Are you wearing both lederhosen and a raccoon skin cap? What do you have on?
Yes, sir, right here.
He's all mixed up.
I also have it. I also have a raccoon tail that I ground scored in camping. But my wife's a raccoon too.
Well, perhaps we can hang on to you for just a moment, Ando. Let me play the next 2 minutes of this no agenda clip, and I'd like to get your thoughts.
Okay, cool. I'll mute.
They're not letting us get through. No, because the minute FEMA comes into your state, they have their approved suppliers. Which may be Walmart or whoever, I don't know. They have their approved suppliers, and they cannot by agreement let any other supplies come in, because it's like, money grab, just like where the money originally went to for asylum seekers, migrants, the newcomers. That didn't even go to the government, just went straight to nonprofits. The nonprofits, where the executive director makes $700,000-$800,000 a year. That's your problem. You've got to stop thinking that the government is going to do anything for you. And do you really want them in? Here's an example of why you might not want them in.
Are they still not there anywhere? What are you seeing from FEMA in the federal response, if any?
I mean, they're present. They're in the way. They are directly interrupting our ability to conduct missions and operations. And I'm not going to disparage anybody, because we are trying to work within partner relationships, both government and non-government entities within state and federal and county. I went to put a couple of people into a hotel last night, and they have a security guard at the hotel. And they said, "Oh, we're so sorry. The entire hotel has been booked for federal employees." And I was like, no, I have people that would just pull it out of a mountain that are living out in the hills, and there's not a place for me to put them because we have federal employees that are staying in the hotel. I slept in this white car last night. I smell like foot and death right now, as does every single person on our team. Not a single one of us slept. We got done maybe at 3:00 the moment the sun was up.
Okay. So you get the picture. What I'm arguing, Ando, since you hopped in late, is that the YouTubers and the local people. So from what I can tell, I've been trying to pick up the pieces from YouTube. It's the local churches coordinating with volunteers who are coming in from out of state, who are getting shit done. FEMA is in the way. And I don't want to, a lot of people probably are exaggerating the extent to which FEMA is getting in the way, but I think they are getting in the way to some extent, even if it's not quite as extreme as some people want you to think. But no, to me, it looks like your free average citizens are doing more good than our federal agencies.
So you know what's going on with FEMA's, right? You know what FEMA is run by, right? That FEMA is run by the Department of Homeland Security.
Homeland Security. We just talked about that, before you came on.
Okay. Yeah. And if Mayorkas is running it, then he's running it to destroy America, because that's what Mayorkas is all about. And so this is just going to keep perpetuating, continuing. That's just how
removed. We knew this.
Yeah.
Congress knows this, but here he is.
Yeah, he's a devil. That's all he is. There's nothing good about that man.
No.
And he is meant to destroy our institutions. He's not loyal to the United States. He's loyal to Bolshevism. He is loyal to destroying our country.
Yeah. Also, let's talk about what they're hiding behind right now. This approved vendor bullshit. Okay. Just went through that myself. And I don't know if you guys, I've posted a few times on WTF forums about it. Basic premise is, for our facility here, they're letting all kinds of shit go. Like, we don't have any parking lines. We've got the landscaping overgrowing. okay, to where we can't even, trucks don't want to come in and out. We've got people just throwing their garbage on the side of the dumpster, just leaks in the roof that this same company, this management company, sent people to come take care of. I spent my time to go up on a roof and went ahead and I marked them all so the dummies would know exactly where the leaks are. And they missed over half of them. I mean, I took a can of spray paint, made a circle, right? They missed it completely. And I was just like, okay, so what they're doing here is it's basically like a giant money laundering scheme. And the mob used to do this too back in the old days. But it seems like now we have the government mob complex, for lack of a better term. So what happens is they say, oh, well, you need to be an approved vendor. Now, here in New Mexico and in most states, there is a clause that basically says that, as far as like needing a they can't make you have a license, they can't make you have any particular paperwork, et cetera, et cetera. If it's number one, a repair, not a new install, a repair, and it's under a certain amount, and it's under force majeure of some sort. Like, for example, he was talking about earlier how what our priority needs to be is that we need to get tarps up over the roofs, because once more of that moisture comes in, the house is done for, even after we've cleaned it. It's not going to matter, right? So that's like a force majeure event. And most of the time there's clauses in there so that you're allowed to go ahead and do that sort of thing and get reimbursed for it from the management company.
Hey, Rob,
or from the contractor.
Can you turn up a little bit? We've got a
turn
comment
up?
saying you're low.
Oh, hold on a second then. Check 1, check 2. Let me see. Where am I?
A little more, a little more.
Okay.
That's better.
Got one more thing I can do here. I should check because
that's better
we had an
already.
update that did all kinds of weird things. So, okay, everything should be good right now. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So, bottom line is the government, many times in like a city government, they'll use this quote preferred vendor or authorized vendor nonsense. And what the authorized vendor nonsense does is it means that only large contractors that are going to charge a lot of money are going to be eligible for the bids. The problem is that this backfires, because what ends up happening is the city goes, well, we need to bring down the price of these of the cost of these jobs. So what'll happen is they'll also have another part of the clause that says that you need to get X number of competitive bids. So what ends up happening is these big companies look at the requirements for like the paperwork and the contracting license and the insurance and everything. It's just outrageous. And so what they do is a job that like a normal handyman could repair or a smaller company could repair for $3,000, this big contractor that has everything that's part of this approved vendor packet has all these ridiculously high insurance amounts and et cetera, they go, okay, well, it would have been $5,000 if you would have let, a smaller independent company do it. But since you want all of this, we're going to charge you $20,000. So what happens is they go back and they said, oh, well, there's no acceptable bids. So guess what ends up happening? They go, oh, shucks, all that money that you've been giving us to be a management company and to take care of your stuff, we're just going to put it in our pocket because, oh, well, we can't get anyone who's, can meet the price and the approved vendor requirements and the insurance requirements. So, oopsie, looks like your stuff's not getting done. It's not our fault. And they just basically use that as an excuse to pocket the money. And now we've got a lawsuit here going on over that exact same thing. Because I went through, they said, no, you must do these things. This is a requirement for the approved vendorship, this, that, and the other. So then I went through and they said state law. So I went through state law and I said, oh no, there's the force majeure clause. Oh yeah, there's the under $5,000 clause. This job is not going to be over $5,000. So guess what? You have to give it to me as a bid. So I basically got them in a corner, went ahead and did the work, and man, they were pissed. It took them a year to pay me, dude. Wow. $700. Wow. It took these assholes a year A year to pay me. And I said, and if everybody else is a contractor here in this state that did meet your requirements, knows that you're a slow paying bastard like this, they're not going to bid on your shit either. And you know what? The middleman company, this quote management company, they know that, and they just go, tee more money for me because nothing's going to get done.
they probably
conflict of interest.
They hate nothing more than the fact that a bunch of fucking volunteers can do their job cheaper.
Right. Because guess what that's doing?
Yeah.
Some of that stuff's getting done now, right? Kind of like with the situation with this management company. Things are getting done now. So what does that mean? That means that they can't create a worse situation and then justify it by raising the rates, because they were going to try and do that here. We were like, look at how bad this place is. And they said, oh, yeah, since your place is so bad, we're going to go ahead and raise your management rates. It's like, no, because we paid the management rates already and you did nothing. That's why we're in this situation. You can't use a situation that you precipitated to then ask for more money. But that's exactly what the government does, and it's exactly what all these big corporations that are owned by BlackRock, State Street, etc., Vanguard, they all do that too. It's mafia shakedown tactics.
Easy money.
Yeah. I mean, they got fish in a barrel, man. Heads I win, tails you lose, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me just play this on a little bit, and we'll come on back.
Drive a couple hours away, find it, grab a ton of it. What would those things be? Gloves?
Yeah.
Like
He's
seven.
got a list. I gave him a big list. N91 masks, not the cheap paper ones, because they're using these day in, day out. So the good 3M ones. Yeah. Good gloves. Flat transfer.
M91 or M95? Is it M91?
N91 is the one with the little charcoal filters that you put in on your face, right? Those ones.
It's like a painter's mask, I think.
So yeah, like it's for actually hazardous chemicals. Not
we need something that's more for hazardous chemicals, because the dust,
not your barista cough.
The dust has been mixed with everything you can imagine, because it's been through. It's got gasoline, it's got oil, it's got feces. Everything is in that dust, and so we need something to protect them. So if they get that stuff in their lungs, they can make them very sick, and we've got people getting sick, and so we're trying to protect.
And then
that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Let me get the rest of that list. So cleaning stuff. We can go out. We can grab a bunch of the stuff.
Great. If y'all could, that was the other thing you said, chainsaws. If y'all can get us a bunch of extra chainsaws that we can have on hand.
Chainsaws.
I've got guys from California that want to. That's awesome.
We'll go get a bunch more.
Great, because we'll use these things. They just need tools. They're ready to come. They're just saying, "We'll come. What's the best way?"
My brother came here with his. He's got a skid steer and like 5 guys with chainsaws.
Yeah.
If they came here, you can put them to work.
You got it. Well, we'll take them from here. We've got lots of different places they can go. They can definitely go to Swannanoa, and they'll have lots of work there.
I can connect them with you, and you'll send them where to go.
Yeah.
Okay. And can. What's your name?
My name is Billy.
This is the brother-in-law?
I'm the brother-in-law
of the lady you took the generator to yesterday.
Yes. Oh, really?
The man with cancer.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just put 2 and 2 together.
And I'm going to their daughter's house right now. They've got a little boy, 2 years old, and they can't get water and hot water in the house. So I'm going up there to rework a generator and see if I can't get hot water in the house.
Oh, cool.
They went in yesterday and took the backup generator to him.
Correct.
And extra gas.
Correct.
And my daddy went 2 days ago and gassed it.
Yes.
Daddy, this is the oh, you did? Okay. No, I'm starting to make my connection.
Thank you. Listen, that means a lot. But you see, I'm out here too.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate what y'all done. I really, really, really appreciate it very much. Appreciate you, Carrie.
Where's that guy? All right, let's go help him on this.
All right, I'm stopping there because my point in sharing all this, I kind of went deep into the YouTube rabbit hole, but these local churches are doing more than FEMA could ever dream of. They're putting people together. They're saying, "Oh, my sister's cousin's brother-in-law is up on the mountain and needs water or needs gasoline." FEMA doesn't know what the fuck anybody fucking needs because FEMA don't know anybody. It's basic.
And they're afraid to go. They said that if the road has any kind of damage, and there's roads that aren't even damaged, that they said they will not go up. So
because they're a bunch of pussies and they got They got rules. They got rules they got to follow. Yeah.
And that's all they've got. They've got rules, but they don't have a mission anymore. Oh, mind you, recently their mission was they wanted to make sure that the distribution of goods was equitable. Whatever.
Yeah,
that means.
equitable. I've got a clip about. I got a clip.
Let's go
about
that.
Yeah. But meanwhile, you got 37. I think the number was 37 private helicopters showing up out of the blue with their own fuel, their own money, ready to help before FEMA can do a goddamn thing, man. If there's ever been a case for anarchism, this is it. You know? I'm just saying.
It seems to be working. I mean, if FEMA wasn't there, they'd probably get more done because FEMA has blocked some roads and refused to let people get by.
Right. Right.
You know, they should have no say in it.
What was the thing I was about to bring up a clip for? I'm trying to figure. I had it.
You're talking about how people were kind of self-organizing. See, this is the kind of self-organizing biology I'd like to see. We don't need nanobots. We need people who aren't bots. You know, snap the hell out of it. The federal government, stop listening to them. They're full of shit. Oh, by the way, just as an aside, San Francisco has decided it's an election year, so it's time to wear masks again.
Huh.
How does that work?
Fun.
Last time, I guess they're just so stupid. They're just going to do the same shit twice. It worked last time. They stole an election. Let's steal another one, right?
Well,
and when
I
you're
tell you
stealing
what,
shit and you're a bandit, you want to wear a mask, right? That kind of goes with it too. You know,
Right.
If you're a criminal, you don't want people to be easily able to identify you. You know, robbing the bank of the federal government with the presidency. You know.
I'm thinking maybe we kind of switch gears here. Have you seen this new campaign ad? Are you man enough?
Oh yeah, because Obama started that recently. Obama was actually saying, "Oh, well, we got the brothers." Man, you don't know shit about brothers. You were raised a rich white kid. Shut the hell up. Okay?
Well,
you get to LARP as a black person. No one wants to hear it.
For the listener, here you go. I like this guy's assessment here. So bear with me just a few minutes.
For that, he was on some other television shows as a writer, some other kind of comedy show. I forget the name of what it was, but he has that kind of background. So when he says, "Hey, me and a few of my friends got together to make this ad for Kamala Harris," who do you think his friends are? Just random, regular, everyday guys cooking on the barbecue grill every Sunday, or we talking about Los Angeles Hollywood actors? Now, before we go into that and tell you who those guys are, let's check out the actual ad. Of course, I will link to this in the box. And if you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat. Man enough to cook my steak rare. Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I bet you do eat carburetors, bacon, eggs, cheese, biscuits, all that for breakfast. Okay,
all right. Rob, any comments?
What the hell is this shit? It is absolutely a LARP. It almost looks like a Saturday Night Live skit, doesn't it?
It almost feels
it's
like
that bad.
It
Like
really
these
does.
guys are fake as fuck. There's no
feels-
way.
It feels like satire, but it's not.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, they are satire. I mean, they're literally a shell of their own reality. They don't even make sense to themselves anymore. They seem to be the only people who think that they're like being serious anymore. It's bizarre. They have no self-awareness.
There was a line here. I'm trying to remember which one. But
I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Well,
What
yeah,
the
that.
hell?
Oh
what
my
are you,
God!
What are you
yeah.
trying to fight the carburetor? You trying to beat it up? I mean,
Yeah,
what are you
do you
doing?
know what a
You're taking his lunch
carburetor-
money and it's lunch
you know
too.
what a carburetor is?
Yeah,
No.
dude, I don't think carbureting is his butthole because he doesn't probably eat right.
Well, honestly, that wasn't even the most upsetting line. Like,
God,
I just
so bad.
I'm trying to remember. I went back about 30 seconds here. But there's a line that upsets me more.
Okay.
In the box. And if you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man. And I'm man.
You know what? Actually, it's maybe not a line. It's the fact that this heavily bearded fellow who is supposed to represent motorcyclists. Look, I muted
that little pipsqueak ass motorcycle he's got, like that 150.
This is a scooter. This is not a motorcycle.
Oh, it's not even a motor. Oh shit! I know it looked really small. I thought maybe it was like a CB 150 from like 1970 or some shit.
This is like a moped. It's a moped, right?
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
Nothing
Holy
about
shit.
this ad. Nothing about this
manly.
ad is real. No, nothing about it's manly, and nothing about it's real. It's kind of like, I'm sure you saw Tim Walz unable to properly utilize his shotgun. He did not know how to functionally load shells into his shotgun. This is the Democratic Party desperately trying to appeal to the masculine.
And they're proving to themselves
it's not working.
They're just a giant LARP. Everything they do is a giant fake ass LARP. I mean, look at this guy. This guy looks like they went down to the secondhand store and went and bought whatever shitty motorcycle was on the floor and said, "Yeah, that'll do." Just Hollywood it.
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll just cut it real quick so nobody notices. This is a goddamn moped. But no, this dude does a pretty good job of tearing this whole thing apart. So I'll play it on.
And man, and I'm man enough.
I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Yeah, apparently half these guys are gay, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. They're
Enough
P.
to
Diddy
deadlift
all over the
500
place.
and breathe.
There's P. Diddy's best
Out
friend.
of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor?
Here he goes with the carburetor again. I eat carburetors for breakfast.
Stop eating already, damn it.
Out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I bet you do eat carburetors, bacon, eggs, cheese, biscuits, all that for breakfast. Okay, I'm playing. Let me
eat soy. Soy.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women.
I'm not afraid of women.
I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies?
Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president?
Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement.
Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not...
Oh, really? Man, look, I don't care how lost I am. I ain't asking for no directions, man. I'm going to figure it out, man. I'm going to look at the North Star and figure it out from there. But nah, I mean, these guys are not very good actors. They're not very good actors at all. That's why I've never seen them before, because they have not ascended to a higher height to do things that you would know them for.
Ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like.
I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it.
I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse. I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually. Goodwill.
All right, I had to look up what it means to raw dog a flight.
Just means where you don't look at your phone.
Yeah, it means you don't look at your phone, you don't watch movies, you just raw dog it. Okay, big deal.
You just look at other people like a weirdo.
Yeah. Like,
speaking of weird, let's
for
talk
you.
about weird. Vance isn't weird. You know what is weird? This whole raw dog shit. That's weird. Like, get a book or something, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, make yourself goddamn useful. You're gonna sit there, just eyeballing everybody on the flight.
Right.
The fuck are you like? You're like some kind of demonic psychic radar or some shit. You're just eyeballing the shit out of people. What are you doing? You trying to size up who you're gonna kill? For your next serial killer rampage, or what are you doing?
Not to mention, I don't like the use of the term raw dog, unless you're.
It sounds like you're banging
about
the whole aircraft with no condom. What are you doing?
No condom. That's the only reference to raw dog that makes sense to me. So yeah. Yeah.
Or you're going on there without a mask during COVID or some shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when I heard raw dog flight, that was my first thought. No mask.
Yeah. No
that's what I
mask,
thought.
no vaccine, no nothing, you know.
Yeah.
That
you're
I
just
get.
raw
because-
dogging that bitch. Yeah.
Yeah. Except you're the one getting sexualized, not everyone's cooties is getting up on you.
Well, okay, so supposedly the Kamala Harris campaign had nothing to do with this ad, but
no, what it looks like is it looks like some kind of LGBTQ freaking NGO went to nearest gay bar and said, "Let's hire some guys."
It's a bunch of gay guys LARPing as straight guys.
Yeah,
kind of like
straight guys wouldn't do
Tim
it.
Walls.
What straight guy
Kind of
would
like
be
Tim
in
Walls
this?
on a pheasant hunt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, what straight guy would be in this and be okay with it? Oh, look at this commercial I did. No bullshit. Everybody on that is gay as hell. Come on.
Yeah.
No one's
pretty
gonna
much.
want their face on this shit.
It's pretty well proven, actually, that all these dudes are gay as fuck. Yeah. People have dived deep. But let me finish this out real quick.
Hunting.
West Side Story.
Can I say something right quick? Can I just give an unpopular opinion, perhaps? Men, we don't need to be crying around people. We don't need to be crying in front of women, and definitely not crying on television like Van Jones and people like this. That's not what men do. Men, the true test of a man, in my opinion, is to master your emotion, not to ignore them or to just let yourself get out of control and crash out, but to master yourself and not be crying over little things like what they're talking about. But let's continue from these fantastic 5-star actors.
Incredible.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women.
I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge.
And I'm man enough to help them win.
All right. So again, this is a guy by the name of Jacob Reed, I believe. Man enough, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. So it's just him deciding to do it on his own. Maybe he got some funding from somewhere. I don't really know. But there's more. Okay. There's more. Now, this is not the B. Okay. And if you guys don't know what this is, you got Babylon Bee, the parody website. Well, not the B is the same people, but they report real news. And the news is so crazy, it's almost like it's a parody. But you see the headline here. You know that Man Enough ad for Kamala? Yeah, all the men were actors. One is a bisexual Nigerian immigrant. I'm not making this up. Okay, so look, we got a few pictures. You know, some pictures you probably don't want to see. Dudes kissing dudes in the mouth. You really don't want to see that. I know I don't want to see it. I can't judge everybody. You know, love is love, I suppose. But at the end of the day, oh, I'm so masculine. I got wife, kids, all this, that, and the third. Do you really? I can't tell. Okay, so Jacob Reed, Jimmy Kimmel's writer. Men for Kamala, et cetera, et cetera. None of the men in the ad were actually regular voters. They are paid actors. Moreover, their real life circumstances differ significantly from the individuals they portray in the ad. All right. So here we have one guy, a far left pro-Antifa comedian and actor who has until now found limited success. He does improv gigs at the Upright Citizens Brigade in Los Angeles. In a Twitter post from 2022, he explains what white privilege is and tells you why you need to acknowledge your white privilege. As of 2024, he is single. Okay, so that's one of the guys right there. All right,
Gayland McQueen. That tells you everything.
And then you got a guy from Nigeria, and he is pretending to be heterosexual masculine man. Meanwhile, you got photos of him kissing men in the mouth. And of course, he's met with Obama and all this kind of jazz. There he is with the Obama family. That's pretty interesting.
I love this dude's commentary.
Biden's
kissing them in the mouth.
So not only are you an actor, you're also a whole operative for the Democratic Party. Okay, like, come on, what are we saying here? All right, and then we have another guy. This guy with the crispiest white shirt I've ever seen in my life. Listen. My white shirts out the pack, Fruit of the Loom, Hanes, all of that don't have as much luster, as much.
Bro, I'm gonna just interject here and say I totally agree with this guy. I'm like, I'm like, when I saw how crispy white that shirt was, I'm like, this dude is full of shit. Because every goddamn white shirt I've got,
it
has
is not
stains.
that white.
No,
that damn
no,
thing was
like,
so goddamn white it had its own white privilege.
Yes, that shirt's got its own privilege. Yes, yes,
what was going on there?
Exactly.
Black.
This dude's the
Compared to that
gayest.
shirt.
This dude's the gayest of the bunch, no doubt.
Oh, dude,
Sheen and
the flames just
white
shooting out.
glow as that shirt.
The white
brand
glow.
new shirt, never been worn before
That's
with
the
that
flames.
horse. He's gay. He's LGBT.
White
now
hot.
again, shout out to all my gay homies. If whatever you do, that's your business. But I'm saying, if you're going to be in this ad and it's supposed to be organic and natural, you're talking about how you're this masculine man and heterosexual. You got wife and
And raw
kids, but
dogging.
it's not real. You're an actor, and your real life is different than what you portray on the screen. So you're pretending to be a certain kind of person. You're being fake people for the ad. All right. And there's a lot of that going on. This guy right here, the old man, he's a failed actor. I read that earlier. Hold on, Winston Carter, the heavyset fellow. Oh, big man. Talking about something I eat carburetors, donuts, hoo-hoos, all of that for breakfast. You eat everything for breakfast, sir. But big man, he claims to be an Canna rancher, lives in Los Angeles, signed with Taft Broadcast Company. He has found limited success in the acting world, mainly as an extra in films and as a character in the low-budget superhero film Spaghetti Man. All right, so if you want to see Big Man in another production, go check out Spaghetti Man. I've not heard about it. I've not seen any reviews. But hey, if you like this performance right here, then you might like Spaghetti Man. All right. Now, the old man, Tony Ketchum, he's also an actor. He now mainly does low-budget independent films
All right,
like
skipping ahead.
In the ad.
I wanted to know what was
All
up
right,
with that
so
guy.
there we go.
There's not much to know. There's not much to know.
I'm showing you my
There we go. Okay. Now wait a minute. Oh, we got something from Tim Waltz too. Hold on. So they did something else from Waltz.
Good. Yeah.
Oh.
Let's watch this. All right. Let's get a little bit of sound.
I love sinking into the couch, cold beer in my mouth, rooting for the Twins.
Hey
Why you
man,
gotta
don't
say
give
it
me no
like that?
copyright on this music. I don't want to get a
Cold beer
copyright
in
for
my
this
mouth?
ridiculous nonsense.
Who says that? Only gay people say that.
This is the whole
Put
thing
your cold
is like
beer in my mouth, big boy. Ah.
you know, Rob, it's really difficult to tell if they're being satirical,
right?
And self what do you call it? Like self-incriminating, or
It almost looks like they're making fun of what they
self-deprecating.
think conservatives are, right?
Yeah, it's like it's like self-deprecation.
Here's what
It's like
conservatives
trying
are, at
to
least we
appeal.
think.
It's trying to
Conservatives
appeal to what they think a straight white man is.
Yeah,
but
and they have no idea. So that's how you know they're gay. They're
Yeah.
lost in their butthole.
Right.
They're lost in the doo-doo.
Exactly.
I don't like doo-doo. I'm doo-doo phobic. I'm not gay. I'm just doo-doo phobic. And if it involves doo-doo, I'm not going to do the doo-doo. Just not. Okay? If that makes people feel better.
But
but
it is fascinating to watch this this campaign because
so bad.
If you have half a brain, you have to wonder: are they intentionally being self-deprecating, or are they just that oblivious? You know,
Are they making fun of themselves, or are they making fun of us, or both, or are they just completely removed from reality? They don't know either one.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
Either it's intentionally self-deprecating, or it's unintentionally ironic.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Speaking of the gay thing, though, before we move forward, did you
Go
hear
ahead.
about Waltz?
He's fucking a kid.
Yeah, dude, and the kid's coming forward. He's called, I think, the immortal. What is his name? Let's just talk about it real quick, just before we get into it. The guy's, I'm trying to remember. The guy's like the Immortal Black, I think his name is. I went and I posted it up the other day, and I was just like, is this even real? But it kind of sounds like it's real.
You know, I don't want to necessarily have an opinion one way or the other, because what I read, it's like, okay, it could very easily be somebody talking shit. Like, I don't know if there's anything to confirm this.
Well, he did get called in front of the school board, and they have not released.
Is that confirmed? We know that.
But they have not released exactly what it was all about.
What it was about, yeah.
So the details are, a lot of times, depending if there's minor involved, especially if it's sex with a minor, it's weird because they think they're protecting the minor, so they will seal those documents. Yeah, the black insurrectionist. So everyone keep an eye on that. We'll see where that goes. So that should be interesting. He's talking about releasing all the documents and everything, probably like on November 2nd or something like that. So,
well, I think every high school has that creepy assistant coach.
Waltz is right. Is that a thing? That's like a thing, right?
It's a thing.
Especially
we had
in
one
Indiana.
at
I said it. I think Mike Pence at one point was an assistant coach, right? And
we had
all
one
know
at my
he used to
high
hang out at
school,
the truck
man.
stops. Do you remember that? Hearing about Mike Pence hanging out at the truck stops?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
but
that was a thing for a while. Yeah,
when he had one. We had one in my high school where he was the assistant baseball coach, and everybody knew he was a fucking creep.
He's a little touchy.
Touchy. Let's just say it was a pattern where all the girls with big tits happened to be seated in the front row of his class.
Well, our English teacher was like that when I was in high school, and he was dating. We went to a party, and he showed up at a house party, at a high school house party, with one of the high school chicks, and we were like,
"Yeah,
what?
Creep." Guido, hello.
It's going around, baby.
Well, Tim Walz definitely fits the profile, if you ask me.
Especially with his crazy wife who wants to bang that.
Yeah.
Oh, I opened up the windows so I could smell the burning rubber. That ain't the only place you burn rubber, baby. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, Rob, you're gonna love the what do you call it? The chorus or the catchphrase. What's the word for this song?
What do they call?
What's the word?
The intro, the outro, the bridge. Yeah,
the bridge, the chorus, whatever you call it. But
the
here
catch.
you go. The catch.
Yeah.
And I love sharing all my tools, playing by the rules, keeping those edges trim. And Tim.
I mean, are they being serious? Am I being trolled? Am I going to have Ashton Kutcher pop out from my attic and say, "You've been punked on MTV"?
I love leaving my white notes, making a plan to vote, helping count a little win. And Tim, we love you, Tim. Woo! Go get him, coach.
Go get him, coach.
What the hell? That was the catch?
Yeah,
Holy
and
shit.
Tim is the catch. Hold on. Let me just real quick because it was a little fast.
The old man Tony Katz in the ad.
There we go.
All right, so they were Waltz too. Hold on, so they did something else for Waltz.
We kind of broke it up. You just got to hear the whole thing. Hang on.
Let's watch this. All right, let's get a little bit of sound.
I love sinking into the couch, cold beer in my mouth, rooting for the Twins.
Hey man, don't give me no copyright on this music. I don't want to get a copyright for this ridiculous nonsense.
And Tim and I love sharing all my tools, playing by the rules, keeping those edges trim. And Tim.
I'm sorry. I just had to make sure you understood. That's the chorus. That's the word I was
so
looking
bad.
for. The chorus.
That's so bad.
And Tim.
Nobody gives a shit.
That's what I think of that.
Did you see where he couldn't load his shotgun, or maybe he overloaded his shotgun, or I don't know which?
only thing he does is blow loads on other dudes. He doesn't load any guns.
I don't think he
just
knows a
blows
damn
loads.
thing about pheasant hunting. No.
No, he's too busy. He's too busy hunting gay bears at the local gay bar. Dude.
Yep.
So bad.
Well, it's probably just the atrazine in the water, you know?
That's the only thing I could think of. You
It's
know, all
making
that
our
soy.
vice presidents gay, you know?
Yeah. They're making the frickin' vice presidents gay. Oh my God, it's just so bad. Even the music's bad. You couldn't find good people to play the music? Really?
That's my thing, man. Like all these ads and all these promo videos, they're so bad. Like y'all seriously must be trying to self-sabotage.
It's almost like they're self-sabotaging so that when they win the election, then they can rub it in our face, be like, look at how bad our commercials suck. Can you still vote for us? Yay, we won.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, let me just throw this at you. You know, I think we might keep this one short. You know, it's only the two of us. I was hoping Fido might hop in, but no dice so far. But
let me play something really quick for Tim Waltz.
Okay.
There you go.
What was that?
Stupid asshole. Stupid asshole.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them. Well,
he's top of the list.
You know, I hate to say it, but JD Vance actually has kind of impressed me.
He's getting better, right?
He seems to, I don't know. He seems to at least sort of kind of know what he's talking about. But let's real quick, I want to show Megyn Kelly here because I don't know, this clip I thought was pretty funny.
Can I tell you, this is crazy, but a few years ago I interviewed Alex Jones, and I sat down with him, and he's, as we know, he's definitely done some not great things, especially when it comes to Newtown. However, one of the things he was telling me was about fluoride and about early puberty and about the frogs when exposed that went from male to female.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to NBC. We had all these fact checkers. It was all true. We found out all this stuff he was saying was true. And here I am across from you, Harvard educated, Johns Hopkins attending physician saying, yeah, fluoride, just like Alex Jones was saying, not good. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But they'll shove it in your kid's mouth just on a general cleaning. They want to saturate your kid in fluoride, like rinses or gels, just for kicks. Can I tell you, this is crazy. But a few years ago, I interviewed Alex Jones, and
all right, I guess that's all there is to it. So did you hear about this federal ruling that fluoride poses an quote unquote unreasonable risk? That's that's a big deal.
Whoa.
Right?
No.
Yeah.
Because we all knew.
Yeah.
Where they been?
Yeah.
You're showing up now?
Yeah.
You know?
But it's
just, wow.
Apparently, like the right judge was on the right case or something.
Well, and new data came out where they couldn't. It was just basically they could not ignore it anymore. You know, it just, man, I don't know. It's incredible that they finally got around to it.
What was that soundbite? I didn't.
Oh, it just says you do it. So, but yeah, it boggles the mind. We're finally there. But now my next question is, why aren't we getting injunctions against every major city that has been caught over fluoridating the water, like Albuquerque? At one point we had fluoride levels because their system had broke down that were almost like 20 times the recommended amount.
Yeah, right.
Just outrageous. How many kids drank water from the water fountain, didn't know any better?
Huh.
You know? I mean, I guarantee you none of the water in any of the public schools is filtered. Okay? So, when does the public school have an obligation to say we need reverse osmosis systems to filter out this fluoride because we know it poses a risk to young people. Where's the school board losing their mind over it? No, you're too busy transgendering the kids after they get effed up by the fluoride. Because guess what? What does fluoride do? Oh yeah, it enhances the effects of estrogenic compounds in the human body. But let's just ignore that. You're just connected too many dots. You're crazy. Maybe you just need to wear a better mask. I find it funny we're willing to filter the air out for everything, but we're not willing to filter our water. It just boggles the mind. As a matter of fact, we're willing to poison the water intentionally.
Yeah.
Why isn't every city in the entire country shutting down immediately after this ruling went out, shutting down their fluoridation system? Why?
Well, I find it fascinating, and I actually did a podcast from, I go get my water from a flowing well. It's an artisan well, natural pressure from 900 feet down, clean, pure groundwater. And I did a podcast where I interviewed people at the well who were coming to get their drinking water and simply asking them, hey, why do you come get this instead of drinking what's out of the tap? Right. And I found it fascinating because you could tell most of them were actually probably lefties. It was kind of 50-50, right? But most of them were lefties, but they all recognized, the water from our sink is full of nonsense and the government is lying to us. And here's a good little clip. I think, Rob, I think you'll really like this.
In Congress apparently was suing Starbucks because they weren't listing the ingredients on their drinks.
Oh gosh.
And the pumpkin spice latte had the active ingredient of ammonia in it.
Oh!
Why?
They use it for food coloring.
No
to make it orange. Yeah. So
there's gotta be a better way.
In Europe, they list the ingredients and they use, I believe, carrot or beets or something. That's like a natural food coloring. But the US Starbucks was using an ingredient that included ammonia in the pumpkin spice lattes to make them orange looking.
What are we doing? Yeah, why?
Well, I wonder why everyone's dying of cancer.
Because we're drinking ammonia. And that's on purpose. That has to be on purpose.
Yeah. Because it's the cheaper option.
And there's no way they just cut it out. It's the middle of fall. You know how many millions of gallons they have of that stuff probably?
Oh my gosh.
I got pumpkin spice.
All right. So, yeah. Yeah, ammonia in the pumpkin spice. You know what? Actually, it's probably good because it'll kill off all the dumb fucking liberal bitches. You're muted, Rob. You're muted. You're still muted.
Ammonia is made in the human body, and the human body can process it out. Thank God. Okay, so there is that little bit of saving grace, right? But one thing I want to show you is this. Look at this. You think just because you're getting your water from a well that you're okay? No. No, no, no. Look at this. What does that say?
Fluoride contamination in groundwater. A global review of the status, processes, challenges, and remedial measures.
Yeah. It's in the groundwater now.
Mm-hmm.
Highest among these, globally, more than 100 countries are affected by fluoride contamination in the groundwater. That is, specifically, fluoride that is not part of the normal mineral content of the localized area. Okay? Says globally, more than 100 countries are affected by fluoride contamination in groundwater. The highest among these are from Africa, Asia, and Europe. More than 80%, they're trying to say, and now, mind you, they don't want to admit to it, but they're saying more than 80% of fluoride pollution is inferred to be geogenic. In other words, they don't know. They're just assuming that it's coming from natural sources. They don't want to admit that's because we inject a bunch of that shit into the atmosphere and into the into the environment, and it ends up eventually making its way, because it's a very small molecule, eventually making its way all the way through the layers. That's why it's hard to filter out, even with RO. There is still some left. It is a very small molecule. They're saying alkaline intrusions, geothermal hot springs, and volcanic rocks are the major source. But you don't know that because you just said before that, you said it was inferred to be geogenic. So they are lying to us. Not to mention, too, they have gotten caught injecting fluoride into a drinking water well.
Well, you have a certain amount of knowledge of Indiana folklore. I wonder if you're aware of so French Lick.
Yeah,
and
that's where my buddy was from, actually. And also, who else was from there? Bird? Wasn't
I don't. Is
wasn't
Bird from French Lick? I don't know.
I think so.
I thought he was a Chicago boy or something, but
no.
So
he was originally from French
Lick was put on the map because people would go down there to soak in the mineral springs, right?
Yeah, the hot springs, yeah.
So there is certainly something to like benefit from mineral infused water.
Absolutely.
I think we just went in a weird direction with it, right? With the fluoride and whatnot. But let me play this real quick. I've got a couple of things here with minerals and food, and we'll play them out and we'll come on back. Oh, wrong one. Sorry, hang on.
Is I'm an anti-statist. I'm an anti-government human being because you think I don't want universal health care? You think I don't want people who are sick to get the care that they deserve and need? You think I want poor people to have to beg, borrow, and steal just to feed their children? Of course I don't. I want prosperity for my people. I don't believe government can do it. That is the difference. Where people are like, if we just tax the rich more, then we would have health care. No, we wouldn't. We brought in more tax revenue than ever in our history last year. We're buying bombs. This is what we do. We don't buy books for kids. We don't fix the water supply in our country. We don't fix our food and supply chains. We don't invest in local infrastructure. We have more money than ever before, and we're not doing it now. Why do you think if we gave these people more money, they would have just buy bigger bombs?
Manufacture minerals. The only minerals that you find in plants are those that are in the soil in which they're grown. Plants will take up minerals out of the soil. And the reason why we're in trouble in America is for the last 100 years, we've used a simple fertilizer, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, because it gives the farmer the maximum yield in terms of tons and bushels per acre. Nobody gives a farmer any type of tax incentive to make sure that you get all 60 essential minerals. It's your responsibility. Farmers only generate tons and bushels per acre. We know that it only takes 5 to 10 years to deplete the nutritional minerals out of our farm soils. And we've been using NPK for 100 years. So, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that there's a deficit there. U.S. Senate Document 264 says there's no longer any nutritional minerals left in our farm and range soils. And as a result, the crops that are grown there are minerally deficient. As a result, the animals and people who eat these minerally deficient crops get mineral deficiency diseases. And the only way to prevent and cure them is with mineral supplementation. In 1936, 60 years ago, this information was known. This is not yesterday's news. It's 60 years old. Plants cannot manufacture minerals. The only minerals that you find in plants are those that are in the soil in which they're grown. Plants will take up minerals out of the soil. And the reason why we're in trouble...
All right, that's repeating. You get the picture, though, man. We are fighting an uphill battle here. And, I think they maybe put fluoride in the water because, guess what? Our teeth were falling out 60, 70 years ago because the food was already fucked.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that science even back then was bad. The only thing that they could confirm that fluoride really did was that it made people stupid, and it would also melt your bones. And fluoride does a really good job of capturing minerals, which is interesting. What else captures minerals? Glyphosate. So fluoride and glyphosate
phosphate for
yeah. both of those. And phosphates are really bad for you. So they're dumping a shitload of them, extra phosphate in the soil. And they think that that is a major cause of osteoporosis, because phosphate also interacts with other minerals and changes the way your body metabolizes them, and or your body's ability to metabolize them, for that matter. So, and you know who I learned that from? Was that guy, Dr. Wallach. So, yeah, actually, I'm taking his calcium toddy now, because obviously I have pretty bad rheumatic arthritis that I'm trying to do something for. And yeah, it loosens up the joints, but it loosens up some stuff downstairs too that I don't appreciate. So if you're going to get on that stuff, ease into it. No pun intended. Ease into it.
Yeah.
If you just go, oh, take an ounce for every 100 pounds of body weight. Well, I'm about like 230. 1 and 2. And then that's all you're going to do is number 2. But your number 2 is going to look like number 1 for a very long time. You will be ass pissing for a week.
Yeah.
But that being said, the stuff actually does seem to work pretty well. I've felt considerably better. The pain and the sorenesses went way down. Got the neighbor on it. He has the same thing, oddly enough. Rheumatic condition. Now, and the thing is, me and the neighbor were talking about it, and we were like, you know, we both worked around metal and that, you know, and we were like, I wonder if like high iron content in the human body may precipitate or may be able to basically not really cause it, but maybe make the condition of rheumatic arthritis worse. And as it turns out, I was reading an article about high iron in the blood. And if you remember, that came up during COVID. One of the things that was killing people was actually the fact that the spike proteins were rupturing the blood cells, and the blood cells were releasing this free iron. Well, free radical iron is really bad. It makes your body oxidize immediately. And it's one of the things that can cause the cytokine storm, because your body is allergic to iron. It doesn't want free iron floating around in your bloodstream, because your kidneys and your liver have to process that out. And it can actually like kill your liver. Go figure. And your kidneys. It can shut them clean down. So anyway, interesting little tie-in right there. So there's certain things like hemochromatosis and that deal with also high iron, and they have the same problems.
So I saw something kind of interesting. Hang on just a moment here. I'll pull it up. But supposedly there was a herd of cattle that at least one cattle learned how to break out of this electric fence. And I don't know how true this is. It could be bullshit. I don't know. But supposedly, after this one cow learned how to disrupt the electric fence, other cows within about 100-mile radius simultaneously started to do the same, which makes you wonder, are we individuals or are we part of some kind of, as we've discussed, mesh network? So let me show you this cow video real quick. For the listener, this cow is gripping an electric fence wire by the handle, the human handle, and undoing it. And again, whether or not it's true or not, the what it says. Let me hang on. I'll turn it down. So it says, a cow caught on security cam opening an electric fence. The farmer installed it after he assumed someone else was doing it. So apparently this cow is breaking out. Now we are left with the explanation of why cows 40 miles away have just started doing the exact same thing. Again, I don't know if this might be bullshit.
This is the plate of shrimp part, right? This is the part where we play the plate of shrimp. You ever been thinking about shrimp or a plate of shrimp, and everyone else think about it too? Nobody knows why.
Is that just to say we all want the same thing? What do you mean?
Well, the cosmic unconsciousness. People tend, even with a lot of inventions, right? They actually kind of happened concurrently all around the world.
Right.
People just kind of come up with the same patterns and they kind of move towards the same thing, and there's something in it for the cow. Obviously, the cow gets to get out and go run around and be a jackass. You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't want to do that if you're locked up?
Well, so this is what I was kind of getting at last week, but I don't think we got this far. So I genuinely think that there might be something to like shared consciousness. Like maybe the cow learned how to open the gate without ever having to see it.
Might have seen the farmer do it.
Maybe.
They're pretty smart. Yeah.
Imagine suddenly seeing the world differently and then discovering you've become something of a math genius. It's called sudden genius syndrome, and it happened to the man you're about to meet after a violent attack and head injury. His story of brain power has been told all around the world, but wait till you hear the story of why he and his family just moved here to central Indiana.
Rob, did I play this clip last week?
Yeah, we played it last time we talked about this one.
We did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So head injury leads to a guy suddenly being a math genius. Yeah. That's kind of wild.
Well, the CIA had something called the perfect concussion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's documented, man.
Huh.
Yeah, where they actually believed at one point that if you could impact, non-lethally, right? If you can impact and create a mild concussion in a subject, that you could, maybe change a communist into a capitalist, or, make somebody change their mind about, some kind of political ideology or something like that. Yeah, that's a real thing, man. The perfect concussion. They were going in here's what's even crazier still, though. It came out during the not the Warren Commission. That was the one with JFK. During the Church Commission, where they were abducting people off the street and just freaking bopping them on the head with something like a blackjack or something, or a sack of potatoes or some shit, just coming up behind me and seeing what happened. They were abducting people to do this shit. It's like, what the hell is going on, But yeah, I'm sure, three-letter agencies they're totally on your side. They're just trying to help, Yeah, they're going around just bopping people in the damn head and abducting them and observing them. Person's like, what happened? Oh, you fell down or some shit. They would just give them some bullshit. It's crazy, man.
So did you see this iRobot shit?
The new robot rollout?
Yeah.
Was that with Musk, or is it a different company?
Yeah. No, Musk.
No, I didn't see this one. No,
this is all
I heard
Tesla.
about it. Okay.
A robot with arms and legs instead of a robot with wheels. And we've made a lot of progress with Optimus. And as you can see, we started up with someone in a robot suit, sort of that, and then we've progressed dramatically year after year. So if you extrapolate this, you're really going to have something spectacular, something that anyone could own. So you can have your own personal R2-D2 C-3PO. But fundamentally, at scale, the Optimus robot, you should be able to buy an Optimus robot for, I think, probably $20,000 to $30,000 long term. So, and what can it do? It can it'll be able to do anything you want. So it can be a teacher, babysit your kids. It can walk your dog, mow your lawn, get the groceries, just be your friend, serve drinks. Whatever you can think of, it will do. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. And I think this will be the biggest product ever of any kind. Yeah.
What the hell?
Because I think everyone, of the 8 billion people of Earth, I think everyone's going to want their Optimus buddy. And there's going to be maybe 2. And then they'll be producing products and services. I predict, actually, provided we address risks of digital superintelligence, 80% probability of a good outcome. Look on the bright side. The cup is 80% full. The cost of products and services will decline dramatically, and basically anyone will be able to have any products and services they want. One of the things we wanted to show tonight was that Optimus is not a canned video. It's not walled off. The Optimus robots will walk among you. Please be nice to the Optimus robots.
Optimus. It's insane. It's even talking.
Say hi to my friend John. John? Where's John?
Right here.
Oh, hello, John.
How are you?
How you doing?
That's
good.
crazy. I'm
Where are
talking
you
to a
from,
robot.
John?
From San Jose. Probably from where you were born in Silicon Valley.
Wonderful. Where do you live in San Jose? Do you
Lo-
live in Almond Valley, or do you live in
Ye-
Santa Teresa area? or-
No, I live in Los Gatos.
Los Gatos. Oh, wonderful. Very
Yeah.
Nice area.
Where do you live?
Beautiful hiking I hear out there.
There is. Where do you live?
I live in Palo Alto at the current moment.
All right. I think the audio is not great. Can you hear that, Rob?
It's kind of choppy, but yeah.
He's having a conversation with the robot.
Yeah, I can get that. Yeah.
But many people are speculating that for this rollout, for this display, what do you call it, demo, that these robots were in fact being
telecontrolled. Yeah,
Yes.
that's kind of what they did with the Amazon AI checkout system. Remember that? They just had a bunch of people in Pakistan that were just kind of looking at whatever the hell you had in your hand, and you're walking out. And they're like, yeah, whatever.
Right.
He ate, he bought 10 rutabagas and a dildo. He's fine. There's this guy. What's he got? It's just,
which is borderline misrepresentation.
it's fraud. It's fucking fraud, man.
Yeah,
Come on.
Right.
What Twilight Zone are we in now? Are we in the Twilight Zone when nothing's fraud now? Nothing's fraud as long as it beeps, right? As long as it beeps, we gotta let it go.
Supposedly Musk rolled out a few products this weekend.
Yeah, I
he's
heard.
got like a
robot taxi.
Yeah,
was one.
robo taxi and but somebody obviously put the meme together. Every one of his new things was in iRobot, the Will Smith movie.
Well, he said that in the beginning of that intro. He said something about iRobot and shit. And I was like, what? And he did make his robots look like the iRobot robot, oddly enough. So
we'll see if I can find the meme here.
Where's the part where the iRobots all kill us all? That's the part I'm just like, well, that's coming. Here we go.
Well, he did roll out this new van. Let's see if we can find the van. Yeah, right here. So, Robo Van. Check this shit out. This is like, yeah, he's totally.
They had
totally
one of these in
ripping off
Westworld.
iRobot.
No, that one looks just like the one in Westworld, but I don't know if iRobot came first or Westworld did. I don't remember.
I think iRobot.
Yeah.
Let's see this real quick.
And who better than Elon, right, to show us that future?
As you can see, I just arrived in the robotaxi, the cybercab. There's no people in them, as you can see. The car's just going by with no people. So you'll see Model Ys and the cybercab, all driverless. There's no steering wheel or pedals, so I hope this goes well. We'll find out. So we'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination. But there's also a challenge for a lot of people that cars cost too much. I mean, when you factor in everything that goes into a car and the car insurance, the car payments, and the storage of the car, it's very expensive. So we want, with autonomy, you get your time back. This is a very big deal. So it's not just it'll save lives, like a lot of lives, and prevent injuries. I think we'll see autonomous cars become 10 times safer than a human. And it's not just the lives saved in injuries, but if you think about the cumulative time that people spend in a car and the time that they will get back. So in fact, I think the cost of autonomous transport will be so low that you can think of it like individualized mass transit. The average cost of a bus per mile for a city, not the ticket price because that is subsidized, but the average price is about $1 a mile. Whereas the cost of cybercab, the operating cost is probably going to be around 20 cents a mile. So,
all right, Rob, what do you think about Elon right now?
I think with all these inventions he's been coming out with, we're gonna
fucking
some big fucking guns. Yeah. We're gonna have to kill all of it.
Yeah.
All that shit. Kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it. Blow it to little pieces.
Down
really small
with
pieces.
Down with the Skynet.
Well, I mean, that's what he's basically developing, and my problem is not that he's developing it; it's that the people that control him in the federal government will take it over and use it for God knows what. You know, it all sounds great. But I mean, I've even had a problem with Amazon, okay? Because what are you doing? You're using this tracking device, right? And you're going, well, here, give me this thing because I want to eat it or whatever, right? How hard would it be to be like the CIA or the FBI? Why do they even need to kick down your door? Why don't they just wait for your next Amazon delivery, right? Put maybe cyanide in it or something, you know? And then you die, and then they're like, well,
the old poison apple.
Oh,
trope.
yeah. Oh, land sharks, Candygram special delivery, right?
Yeah.
Like in the old
Candygram
SNLs.
from Mongo.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So, you know, and you eat it and you die, and then they just say, oh, well, he got COVID.
Uh-huh.
That's my nightmare. The fact that they were able to push COVID to the level they did, and it was all bullshit, means how hard would it, and you know, and of course they killed Epstein and they didn't do an autopsy, or they did an autopsy and then they killed the doctor who did the autopsy, whatever they did.
Something,
you know?
Yeah.
The bottom line is the fact that the corruption is so out in the open, in your face, no one questions it. There's so many normies that just don't even care. And
Bro, I even had a
easy.
moment. I had a moment driving today where I was just thinking about that. I'm like, God, like there's just so many people that still just buy it. That, you know, whatever it is, they buy it, man.
Yeah.
And I had a little moment where I was like kind of sad about it, but can't save them.
Hey, did you see there was some footage recently where someone said that a lot of the cars in Florida that were not affected by the hurricane are not starting now?
Really?
Yeah, that apparently is a thing now. So, you know, it makes you wonder, are they shutting things down remotely that they before said that they couldn't, and that they're doing it now.
Well,
You know,
or
and that's
as
always been a
we-
long-going conspiracy, right?
As we sort of covered last week or the week before, perhaps there's some kind of microwave energy involved in some of these
yeah
issues. Let me play this real quick, and we'll come back and we'll finish up.
I cannot believe this. Oh my God.
Okay, I thought there was more to that, but two twisters. I saw something where there's twisters all over the place around this second hurricane.
Yeah,
and they're converging, and they're it's. I understand that that's not totally abnormal with a hurricane, but
well, with a tornado, with any kind of storm front, or storm system. When I was 6 years old, we were driving through Kansas, and we had 7 tornadoes all around us in every direction at one point.
Really?
It was pretty bad. Yeah, like we thought we were done. I mean, there was cars flying through the air, and you look up in the sky and you see something fluttering, and it's actually a car.
yeah, right.
It was bad. And there was 7, and they were splitting and reforming and doing all that. It was absolutely crazy. So this is not necessarily anything new per se. It may be for the geography in which it's showing itself now, because before we all knew Kansas. I mean, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto, right? So everybody knew about it being in Kansas, but now we're seeing it in other areas. And that's kind of interesting. I mean, what kind of energy is required to keep a storm system like that going and active, and with that kind of energy in that type of an area? That's the thing that kind of blows me away.
So Asheville is not typically what you would consider Hurricane Alley, right?
Right. Or your Tornado Alley. Neither, because it's fairly high elevation. What is it? What do they say it's at? Like 3,000, 4,000 feet or something like that? What's Asheville, North Carolina's elevation? That I know that came in, and they were questioning it because of that. They were like, well, this elevation usually doesn't lend itself to this type of storm,
Well, I'm going to share just the first couple minutes. I already played some of this video earlier before you hopped on, Rob, but this was the first impressions of a few folks who were right in the middle of it.
Look at all this damage here. These are all this is a storage facility.
We were literally just there at that sheet. That is nuts.
Hey, it's Nathaniel.
And Jillian.
And we are full-time musicians and filmmakers. Our band is called The Bergamot. Recently, we have been getting ready for a big Christmas tour starting in November and making a new album. So because of that, we were offered an artist residency down in Charlotte, North Carolina, and we were leaving on September 25th, and we stayed the night in Asheville.
And little do we know that the hurricane would move 800 plus miles, and the eye of the storm would hit Asheville the night that we got into town. So we knew that there was going to be some sort of rain and a little bit of wind, but it was just supposed to hit Florida and then dissipate. And then this is what ended up happening. So we're currently about 30.
All right. This is pretty much where I started before. What I thought was interesting about this video was that it's people on the ground who are giving a first person kind of, report of what's happening. And second was that they were aware of the weather that might hit, but it was so unexpected, the severity of it. They had no reason not to go to Asheville. That storm, as they said, it went 800 miles off course.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Rob?
No, but just to give you an idea, some of those mountainous areas that got hit hardest actually were 5,000 to 7,000 feet. So very unusual.
Yeah,
or a storm
we've
system.
been told over and over that hurricanes dissipate over land. This one seemed to gain power.
Yeah. Well, and you have a lot of military bases in that area. So if you were going to do weather weapon type shit, there would be a prime candidate. I'd expect it to happen. It'd be somewhere like North Carolina, New Mexico, Colorado, because, you know, you've got NORAD and all that shit in Colorado. So.
Well, you know, I'm not one to conclude one way or the other necessarily, but it seems a bit peculiar, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, anything you want to hit before we close her out? I mean, we could talk about Tim Walz not loading his shotgun properly, or I don't know.
Yeah, right.
And whatever you want
guy.
to talk about. Yeah.
That guy. It just,
you know, the funniest thing I
so
saw
bad.
today, I saw somebody with a t-shirt. It was online, not in real person, but it was a Harris Walls t-shirt, except it had like the IS and the W scratched out, and instead of Harris Walls, it said Harry Balls.
Yes.
And I thought that was
saw
kind
that
of
one.
fun. I thought that was good. I like that.
Yeah, I saw that one. Man, that dude is, you know, the amount of cringe that guy generates.
Yeah. I love that he is a perfect embodiment of the FUD meme.
Yeah, he's Elmer Fudd.
He is FUD. He is Elmer
Yeah.
Fudd. Yeah.
He's so bad. I
Those
just
wascally wabbits, man.
You know what the problem was with Walls?
I'm surprised you don't have a grenade launcher. Couldn't get a permit.
He should have got a grenade launcher. It'd have been easier because we know he can't shoot shit. He doesn't use it enough.
Well, it cracks me up. Everybody's like, prosecute Walls, because it seems like he might have loaded like 4 shells into his shotgun when like the limit was 2 or some shit.
Is it? Oh shit! I didn't realize that was part of it.
I think I think people are that it's
They're
a
being
stretch.
Facetious.
It's a
yeah,
stretch.
they're being outrageous. They're being bombastic about it,
But
which
it's-
you know he deserves.
It's kind of funny to point fun at the fact that, like, yeah, if he just so happened to accidentally load one too many rounds into a shotgun, he would be technically liable for a $15,000 fine.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah. If he's supposed to be hunting
gun
at the
control,
time,
you know.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. You know, they live off the fact that they are never going to be subject to the laws that they vote for.
Which they,
you know what I
have.
mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They will never be subject to any of that shit. They'll be what's going on with Hunter Hamster Hunter Biden. Yeah, they put all his cases back till after the election. How appropriate. Just in enough time so Daddy could go ahead and, after the election's been done,
walk off into the sunset
and and pardon him and shit. Like, or commute him or whatever they're gonna do.
Huh.
You know.
Why not just do it right now? It's not like anybody gives a fuck or is.
No, we all know the fix is in when it comes to that shit.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you got dumbass Harris. Well, telling Oprah, well, somebody come up in my house, I'm going to shoot him. What? You can't. You know, if you say that shit, like lawyers tell you not to say that shit, because if you do end up in a shooting, it could look like it's premeditated.
Right.
It could look like you constructed the situation, right? They can sell that shit to a judge and jury, especially if the judge and jury is the same color as the person you shoot. You know, of a certain shade-ish persuasion. Yeah, and you'll go to jail over it. You know, and that's where we're at with it. I mean, we've got these brainwashed juries and judges. I mean, you know, the whole idea is the only crime is owning a gun. Everything else is not a crime to them. They don't care about any of that shit, you know. It's like, oh, real crimes, theft and that? What? That's just redistribution. You know? That's how brainwashed they've got these people at this point. It's just absurd. The absurdity is just through the roof with these folks now. And that's why we see them fall for shit like, well, let's all wear masks again. You know, we got to make sure Orange Man is bad, and we got to show everyone Orange Man's bad. So everyone's got to wear a mask in San Francisco, unless you're having an orgy. So that pretty much means all the gay people don't have to wear masks. It's only us straight people. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, you're a homophobe if you don't catch monkeypox.
That's right. Yeah. Right. You got. If you don't give monkeypox to your dog, you're a poopophobe or whatever.
I saw a funny one where it was the what did they call it? Like the out of car seatbelt or whatever, and it's a guy walking around with it looks like a purse, but then all of a sudden he buckles it and it's a seatbelt. So like when he sits on the bus, he buckles it, or when he sits on the park bench, he buckles it.
Sits on the toilet, buckles
when
himself
he sits
in.
on the public toilet, yeah, he buckles.
This is going to be a big one. I gotta
yeah.
I need to go with the 4-point harness. This
and the
shit's
whole
going to
thing
be
was
outrageous.
like, you know, for the people that wore their masks outside, you know, I think they called it
It's
the
the same thing.
It was the outdoor seatbelt. That's what it was. Outdoor seatbelt. Yeah. But to wrap this bitch up, I've got one final clip. This is one that I've been sitting on. You know, I could have shared it by now, but I feel like this young man maybe represents a certain attitude that is becoming more and more prevalent that we should take note of.
Want to make it. My Christianity is the Christianity that defeated Islamic Jihad 3 times. My Christianity is the Christianity that conquered the Roman Empire. My Christianity is the kind of Christianity that defeated the pagan Vikings and the northern pagan tribes. My Christianity is the kind of Christianity that defeated the Ottoman Empire, that defeated the Arab invasion of the 7th century, that defeated the Arab invasion in Andalusia, in Spain.
Christianity.
Do you see?
A European, Eurocentric,
he sees it. Oh no, this is where you're wrong, because the Ethiopian Christians who follow my kind of Christianity defeated the Muslim invasion from Somalia and Egypt. My Christianity is the one followed by the Armenians and the Georgians who defeated the Persian Zoroastrians and the Muslims. My Christianity is not for wimps. You're complaining about it because you are.
Yeah, that may seem a little out of left field, but I saw a really interesting clip from the Bill Maher show where Bill Maher was arguing with what's his fucking name? Married to J-Lo. Goodwill Hunting.
What is his name? It's not Matt Damon. It's the other guy.
It's the other motherfucker.
The other Matt Damon. Damon.
Yeah. Well, and they were arguing about Islam and whether or not Islam was a fundamentally violent philosophy. And,
it is. It was set up that way.
Yeah.
It mimics the pagan tribes that were in that area when Muhammad was trying to convince them to come over to Islam. They weren't buying off on the Sufism, which is, Sufism is it's hard to Sufi is Islam, but it's mystical Islam, and they have jihad, but that is not outward. That is not something you do, against other people. You know what I mean? So that wasn't going to work if you're trying to field an army and take over the Middle East and unite it under one religion.
Ben Affleck,
yeah. I always think Affleck. I always think of the duck.
Affleck. Yeah. Affleck.
Save
15% on your car insurance with Affleck.
Yeah, with Ben Affleck. So Ben Affleck was trying to say that that Islam was all like fruity, and basically that modern Islam that was pretty much invented by the English and Israeli intelligence services to create a foe and cause, divisiveness and destruction within the Middle East. He's sitting there trying to say that it's actually a peace-loving religion. The religion it was based on was peace-loving, okay? But, saying that Sufism is Islam and Wahhabism is Islam, they just use the same names for things, but it's not the same,
Well, here we go. I'll share it because this I'd never seen this, but I found it pretty interesting. Just saw it today or yesterday. Here you go.
But why is the mother lode of bad ideas?
Jesus.
So we have
That's
ideas
just a fact.
like blasphemy.
It's an ugly
apostasy.
It is basic liberal.
Assalamu alaikum. That was Ben Affleck defending Islam. And he's got a lot of opposition from the right-wing media.
Oh, geez. I didn't know it was one of these. I'm sorry.
Oh, you didn't think that fez wearing cross-eyed guy would pop up?
I didn't see that coming. Here, let's try this one. Oh my God. The internet is dying right in front of us.
This is one for Waltz and his shotgun.
Oh my God. Bang bang. Where is the good clip here? All right, let's try this.
Things got a bit touchy between Ben Affleck, Bill Maher, and Sam Harris on a recent episode of Maher's show. Let's watch.
We have been sold this meme of Islamophobia where every criticism of the doctrine of Islam gets conflated with bigotry toward Muslims as people.
Right.
And that is it's intellectually ridiculous. Even it gets
So hold on, are
conflated with
you
racism.
the person who understands the officially codified doctrine of Islam? You're the interpreter of that, so you can say, well, this is.
I'm actually well educated on this topic.
I'm asking you. So
I mean,
you're
there
saying
is
if I
no
criticize, you're
codified
saying that
anything. It's
Islamophobia
not
is not a real
unified.
thing. That if you're critical of something,
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
Right.
Well, no,
It really isn't.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people.
Right.
And that's a
That's
problem.
big of you.
But
why are you so hostile about
Because
this?
it's gross. It's racist.
It's not. It's so not.
It's like saying
It's
those
so not. You're
shifty Jew.
You're not listening
Absolutely
to
not.
what we are saying.
You guys are saying if you want to be liberals, believe in liberal principles like
Right.
freedom of speech, like
Right.
we are endowed by our forefathers with an inalienable rights, like all men are created equal.
Ben, we have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
Of course we do. No
Islam-
liberal doesn't want
Okay,
to
okay.
criticize bad
But
ideas.
Islam
But
at
why
this moment
would-
is the mother lode of bad ideas.
Jesus.
So we have
That's just
ideas
a
like
fact.
like
It's not
blasphemy.
It is. It's an ugly thing. to say.
So yeah, that was contentious. You could tell that Ben Affleck was obviously pretty peeved from the first comment that he made, and it only got more aggressive from there. Of course, we're limited in how much of it we can show because it is from HBO. So you should track down and watch legally the entire episode so that you can understand the context. Understand for historic sake, I guess. I like Sam Harris. I've read almost all of his books, and in general, I think he's a very smart guy.
All right, enough of that. What do you think there, Rob?
Well, that's the problem. There's so many different forms of Islam that are fighting amongst each other. It is really a fallacy to tell somebody and ask somebody, oh, well, do you know all the doctrines of Islam? It's like, why do you think they're fighting all the time? They don't know the damn doctrines of Islam.
It'd be like trying to argue that you know all the doctrines of Christianity at this point. I mean,
same type of thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
from Mormon to Amish,
Protestant to
Right.
Catholic to all the. Yeah. Do you know the unified doctrine? There is no unified doctrine, you jackass. That's why the place is on fire. You not paying attention or what?
That's why.
You know what I mean? They're so peaceful, they're blowing each other up every damn day.
Right.
You know?
Right.
We want peace and we'll kill you over it. How about that? You know, it's like
peace or else.
Peace! We want peace!
Yeah, they don't want peace. That's bullshit. You know? It just doesn't make any sense. It is arguing on bad faith to basically go, well, do you know everything about Islam? Because anything anybody says, you can refute. There's a version of Islam that says, fuck that. No. And now we got to fight over it. We got to jihad and shit. We got to blow shit up.
They were able to have that
anything.
conversation however many years ago. And perhaps there was backlash against Bill Maher for seeming quote unquote Islamophobic. But if you were to replace the word Islam with Judaism, or, well, I'll just say Judaism, Zionism, whatever. No,
Zionism.
It's not a matter of being Judeophobic. It's a matter of being anti-Semitic or whatever. Right? Like you can at least have the conversation about Islam. You can't have the conversation about Judaism.
Right. Well, and you kind of can't have
that was
it.
where my mind went there, where it was just like, you know, they were so willing to have the argument and walk away without calling each other a bunch of names. But yeah,
I don't even know if it was an argument. It was, and, you know, because to have an argument, you have to let it develop, and they didn't develop anything. All they did is, oh, you're racist. Oh, no, I'm not. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, that's what it ended with. It didn't end with any kind of
there was no
coherence, conclusion, or not even a conclusion. They didn't even pick a side. It was you're racist, and the other guy's like, no, I'm not, and then that was it. There's no side to that. That is not an argument. That's not a discussion. That is an observation of how stupid and how basically confined we are in our thought processes by these thought limiting terms like racism, etc. These overgeneralizations, right? This is thought limiting speech, right? You get to a point and you just label somebody, you are this, and it can never go any further. You know, and that's the biggest psyop of them all.
And yeah, isn't it kind of interesting too that it's almost like you can't question your own enemy, you know, like
no,
right? Like
you're just phobic. Why am I afraid of it? Maybe I want to kill it. It doesn't have anything with being phobic. Maybe I'm a serial killer. Maybe I just like killing shit.
Or maybe
you know
I'm
phobic. That doesn't mean I'm afraid of it.
Maybe I'm phobic for a good reason. Maybe it's because they want to kill me.
Or they keep saying they're going to come blow me up. You know, maybe I should have an issue with it.
Maybe
we're just going to override it with this by calling you a name. We're going to do this. You're not even supposed to think about your own self-preservation. We're going to use thought-terminating speech to stop that. So you won't even act in your own best interest. No matter how obvious it is that this person or this group wants to kill you, we will put words and thoughts in your head that stop your own ability to preserve yourself. You know, it's kind of like what they do with immigration, right? Oh, there's no such thing as a replacement theory. There's been a replacement theory out there that they've been following verbatim, and they admit to following for almost 100 goddamn years.
No, Rob, you're xenophobic. See,
and you're xenophobic now. Yeah, this phobic thing, that is thought limiting. This is thought limiting speech, right? Or thought terminating speech, whichever way you want to call it. Bottom line is, it's just there so you don't argue against the plans of the elite. That's all it is.
If I'm claustrophobic, do I have the right to live in a country with no small spaces? If I'm arachnophobic, can I live in a country with no spiders?
You have the right. You have the human right that you have. That country needs to get rid of all the spiders right now. You know, it just. What if all spiders are they don't like the gay spiders? Maybe they're anti-LGBTQ. right? Maybe we got to kill the spiders now, right?
Maybe
kill
all
them all.
spiders go to heaven, and you should quit being so arachnophobic. You know?
There you go. Yeah. You should let them bite you all day long.
Bite you.
You know, remember when they were telling, was it Charlemagne the God or something? They caught him, and it was on a TV show, and they had like a female trans, beauty pageant or something, right? And somehow he got mixed up in it, and one of them was like, well, I want to date you, and then he's like, well, I don't want to date you, you know, because I'm not that way. Oh, well, you're transphobic. I mean, they're even nailing the brothers with this shit now. Okay, it doesn't matter that they're black. They're going to corner them, and they're going to suck the lady penis. And apparently that's what P. Diddy was all about. Because if you've noticed, all his artists, and why didn't we see this? His label was called Rock a Fella. It wasn't called Rock a Chick. It wasn't called Rock a Hot Female. It was called Rock a Fella. I'm like,
well, and he was called P. Diddy. So let's not ignore that too.
Yeah. Wait, so penis diddler? P. diddler?
Yeah.
I mean,
P. Diddy.
What?
Diddy,
How did we not
Diddy.
see this? That's the thing that blows me away. I'm like, well, now it makes sense. And now all the guys on that label 20 years later are all wearing dresses and shit, you know?
Part of me wonders if he's not a patsy in his own right, though. You know?
I think he is. I think he's controlled. You know, he's compromised also by, you know, and it's a big pyramid scheme of compromise and blackmail, right? I mean, that's all this shit is anymore, it seems like. That's all the elites seem to be able to do anymore, for that matter, right? They don't seem to be able to, you know, get food to a place that get hit by a hurricane anyway. They don't seem to be interested in that shit. So
that's out of the news cycle rather quick.
Dude, yeah, they've done everything they could to cover it up as fast as possible, but
only for the sake of putting a bow on this bitch. You know, I was tempted to bring a certain character to the forum a number of times, but I think now's the time. A certain fella named James Brown. And I think there were people in our recent history that might have been a little more attuned to reality than others. And for all his faults, I think James Brown knew what the fuck was up.
They call him the godfather of soul, Mr. Dynamite, and the hardest working man in showbiz. But very soon, he may be known as the defendant. Grammy-winning soul singer James Brown is about to embark on a South American tour, but it's this tour that prompted his latest brush with the law. Brown says that he and his wife had an argument because she wasn't going on the tour with him. Adrian Brown and South Carolina police say that in the argument, it resulted, as a matter of fact, in Brown assaulting his wife with a lead pipe and firing a gun at a car that she was in. These are charges that Brown denies. He was released yesterday on $15,000 bond. He joins us from Atlanta to discuss the charges, and we welcome you, James Brown. How did all of this trouble begin?
Living in America. There's nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong at all. You're not in any difficulty, but you're out on bond.
No, I'm not.
Have all the charges been dropped?
Yeah, I'm out on love.
Everybody thinks I'm high, and I am.
Out on love or out of love? Which is it?
Out on love. Alone from night to night, you find me.
Now, James, this isn't the first time you and your wife have had a problem. Are the two of you going to be able to work this out?
Let's talk about some music.
You want to talk about music, and you don't want to talk about what happened?
No, it's all over.
Well, let's talk about your tour. When are you leaving?
We're leaving tomorrow.
And where are you going?
Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Now, your fans will have read all about this, James. Aren't you concerned about that?
No, Dagesha. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
And what are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some questions about it?
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
Well, that's the second time we've heard that in 2 days. That's very interesting. Now, don't leave us, James. You stay right there.
I'm not gonna leave.
We have to talk about. Well, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing on this tour.
What's that?
What are you going to be doing on this tour?
I'm going to be doing. Papa's got a brand new bag, living in America. Sex machine, get up off of that thing. I feel good. Jam.
I understand that you have already.
He's my hero.
I have to ask you one serious question here. I
remember
understand
this.
you
I
already
remember
have started
watching this.
divorce
This is like
proceedings. Does that
92.
mean that you're now eligible?
No, yes, I'm saying I want to mingle.
You want to mingle.
Yeah.
Now, the women love you when you get out there. Why do you think that is?
What'd you say?
The women love you when you get out there.
Why is that, ladies?
Well, I'm asking you.
Huh? Because
Why
I
do you
look
think
good.
that is? You
I
look
smell
good.
I
Yes.
feel good.
And you sing good.
And make love good.
Oh.
I'm the white
Well, there
rabbit.
we are. We don't have to ask anybody else. We got that from the source. There you are. Now, you're involved in publishing a gospel magazine. Tell us a little bit about that.
The Second Coming. It's out of Augusta, Georgia, the Anchor. Joseph P. Young is the editor, and James Brown is one of the advisors. And we're doing a fantastic job. The Second Coming. It features, on this week, I think we have the Pope and I believe the Williams brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And next week we'll have Reverend Al Sharpton, I think, on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be doing a lot of good things, and hopefully we'll get Brother Ted Turner on the cover. Ted, where you at?
James Brown! James Brown! James Brown!
I mean, if you're not able to watch this man, we should all aspire to be as groovy as this motherfucker right here.
Absolutely.
Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, no one has ever had an entrant as bold as this man.
No, and he was what? He was already like in his 40s here?
Probably, yeah.
Holy shit.
Well, you know, he refused to go on stage at Woodstock 99 for like a solid 2 hours because they fucked up his contract.
His intro,
like,
right?
Yeah,
Or the contract?
Like, the contract. Like they didn't have what he asked for, and he's like, fuck you. He eventually went on, but no, hardest working man in showbiz.
Yeah.
And he didn't get that name for no reason. If he doesn't go on stage, it's for a good goddamn reason. But
yep, still better than the Black Expo in Indianapolis. But you know,
fucking A, right? Yeah, he's probably played one or two of those. I
know. I don't think he has. Actually. No, because that just started in I think like 2000 or 99. It's not that old. Yeah, well, but there was a jazz festival I think he's done. There's like an Indianapolis Jazz Festival I think he did at one point. I'm trying to remember, and of course he's done what was that, the Holiday Star out there? So,
well, now you got me wondering how many people have died on average per Black Expo. Because it tends to be
go over that one day. It
tends to
every
be a couple a year at least.
At least. I think the 1 year it was 2000 I was there, and I think it was like, I want to say maybe 15 people or some shit. It was crazy.
Could have been double digits. Yeah.
It was in the doubles, man. I remember it was a big problem. And the only reason I remember is because the lady next to me, she was involved in it somehow in organizing it. She was talking about it. So
well, it's known throughout the city that you don't go downtown on Black Expo weekend.
Yep.
It's just known. It is.
It's a bad bet, man. It's a bad bet.
And you know what? I don't even hold it against the blacks. I don't. I think they're a victim of circumstance most of the time.
Yeah, it just happens to be mostly caused by other black people in this case. But
yeah, well, in a little.
I'm sure they don't want to get shot any more than we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's play Captain Obvious moment here, right?
Yeah. That's why I put my faith in James Brown, because
yes,
at least he feels good. Ow.
Yeah. Even though his wife probably didn't after he slapped her up. But whatever.
I get drugs free.
There you go. There you go. He says, I feel good.
Getting all the drugs free. Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't know why I brought James. I don't know why I brought James Brown in, except he is somebody that I aspire to.
It was time. You know?
He has more vibes than the average bear. I'll say that.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Rock the vibes. Well, Rob, I'm glad you joined. You know, it would have been cool. I thought Fido was going to hop in here, but no worries.
It's all right.
It is
We'll keep it going.
Yeah. But I think it's time we turn this bitch down. What do you think?
Amen. Sure.
Amen. Well, you know, I'll say let's hope that we can get this this forum filled back up one day. We're working on it. I took a little hiatus, but I'm building it back up, trying to get some steam behind it. So with that, I have been Mike the Polymath, Easy Peasy Podcast. I'm gonna hit that outro music, and Rob, tell us where we can find you.
Still on Spotify, Black Labs Podcast, BLAQLABS. Do not try and put a CK in there.
I put the wrong goddamn music on. There's
yes.
the right music. You know, Rob, we should do a Black Labs episode here soon. The two of us. I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
We can. I would like to ask you questions about certain technological topics. I would.
Yeah. I've been buying a lot of new machines, so things are getting kind of fun over here. Shit's getting kind of real.
Hell yeah. When am I getting my headphones, man? You said I was getting some headphones.
Oh shit, I gotta touch base back with them and see what they've done in the last revision. But yeah.
Are you working on them still? Yeah.
I got like $2,000 sitting over in China, man. I need to go get that shit taken care of.
Yeah, man. I wanna put them through the paces, see if they're any good, you know?
Yeah. They're gonna be better than they were, that's for sure.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm working a new angle, and I'd be happy to tell you about it sometime. But I'm looking at building a little retreat center, if you will.
Very nice.
So, in the meantime, I appreciate it. Good talking, and yeah. Till next time. WTF Forum.
Everybody out there, take care.
Take care. You know, keep your head down. If you're in the hurricane zone, who knows? You're probably going to get another one, probably right around Christmas, I would think. So.
No, right before the election.
Oh, yeah, that too. All right, y'all. Take care. I love this outro. I do. Say what the fuck.
Yeah. Say what the fuck,